crossings during the Biden administration. He'll visit the southern border today in Arizona.
They're coming from China, they're coming from sub-Saharan Africa, they're coming from Southeast Asia. We have no idea what their intentions are.
Carlos Trujillo, former U.S. ambassador for the Organization of American States, telling reporters,
we have no idea how a person who lives in abject poverty is able to finance a flight into Nicaragua or into Venezuela in order to come up to our southern border.
This as Vice President Harris prepares to accept her party's nomination on day 4 of the Democratic National Convention, the day after running mate Tim Walz took center stage.
As Governor Walz pointed out yesterday in his remarks, we're entering the fourth quarter in a close game. We feel good about where we are. As the underdog, you do not play prevent defense. You play to win. That's exactly what this campaign is going to do coming out of Chicago for the rest of this campaign.
Harris-Walz campaign communications director Michael Tyler. Federal prosecutors just announcing the indictment of a Guatemalan national accused of coordinating a human smuggling effort that ended with more than 50 migrants dead in a sweltering big rig in Texas.
As our indictment says, Miranda Orozco, the defendant, is allegedly responsible for at least 3 of those deaths out of the 53 people who died in the tractor trailer.
U.S. Attorney Jaime Esparza says they want to send a message to other human smugglers. Guatemalan officials announcing 7 arrests in that case yesterday. A partial rebound for the U.S. housing market. Sales of previously owned homes up more than 1% last month, ending a 4-month slide, helped in part by lower mortgage rates. And Freddie Mac now says the average rate for a 30-year fixed mortgage has hit a 15-month low this week, just under 6.5%. America is listening to Fox News.
Point.
Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down.
Ace.
You're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2020.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're looking for August weather, you're not going to find it again today. Sunny and nice this afternoon. 81 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy. 70s for any evening plans. 61 for the low. Friday, sunny. Nice morning. Little warmer, though, Friday afternoon. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, 92. And Sunday, partly sunny and 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
I've got your Labor Day all planned out for you. You're going to go to Midwest WINGFEST, and you're going to have the best time going to this legendary food and music festival. It's in Fairview Heights at St. Clair Square by Dillard's in the parking lot there. This food and music festival, it benefits combat wounded soldiers and families of local fallen heroes. So you're supporting these local heroes just by going to MidwestWingFest.com, buying a $5 ticket for patrons 12 and over, and then you just go have a great time. Enjoy wonderful food, eat all the wings that you can, and a reminder, we want to sell out that VIP tent. You can upgrade your experience to this VIP tent. I've been in it multiple times. It is well worth the spend, and it includes unlimited chicken wings from Dandy Inn and beer from Chick Fritz distributors, as well as private restrooms for you. Go get those VIP tickets. Have a great holiday weekend for Labor Day coming up. It's August 30th and 31st, Friday and Saturday at Fairview Heights at the St. Clair Square by Dillard's parking lot. Everything you need to know, including your purchase of tickets at MidwestWingFest.com.
Rhino Shield is far superior to even the best traditional exterior house paint. Rhino Shield is 8 to 10 times thicker than paint and comes with a 25-year transferable warranty. Rhino Shield is the only ceramic coating company that has been chosen by Disney, This Old House, and 3 times on HGTV's Curb Appeal, where every episode is concentrated on unpainted brick, bonds and seals to stucco, wood, hardy, block, color lock, masonite, and more. No better product for those steel aluminum-sided homes that have become, chalky and tired looking. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. After 15 years, we've got a great reputation and a superior product. As long as it's affordable, why wouldn't you do it? Before you make the costly mistake of painting with traditional paint, you'd be best served to call Rhino Shield today. We are the experts and our evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. Tell them, ladies.
Don't paint, don't Rhino, go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Rosetta Stone is the expert in language learning for more than 30 years. Right now, Eye on Travel listeners can get Rosetta Stone's lifetime membership of 25 languages for 50% off. Visit rosettastone.com/radio today to purchase and learn for life.
Hey, it's Mark Reardon. If you're nearing retirement or already retired, call my friends Thomas Helbig and Bob Kershaw with the Retirement Advisory Group. They'll show you how linking to the market is much safer than owning the market for your retirement savings. They're the official financial advisors of my show. Go to retirementkey.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
From the redwood forests, love those redwoods, to the Gulf Stream waters, I've seen racism and sexism and income inequality and division. I've not only seen it, at times I've been on the receiving end of it.
Oprah, it's tough to be Oprah. Hey, let me ask you a question. Last night at the DNC, Oprah, she comes out. She looks fantastic, by the way. She's never looked better. And she starts to deliver a speech. And it occurred to me that I don't know that my kids would even know who Oprah is. Oprah is not relevant today in our, the kids these days, culture these days. She doesn't have, can you think of, am I forgetting anything, Brad? Where is Oprah present right now outside of like a podcast or a book club or something like that? I don't even know what she does.
Yeah, she's got her network, but I don't think she's out in front of that. It's just, what is it, Harpo or something like that?
Probably. I mean, that's what it used to be. Here's the deal, though. You know why she's on the stage up there? Because she's been wildly successful in America.
Mm-hmm.
That's it. Her ability to grace that stage way past her prime of not earnings, because, folks, she's worth $3 billion. She is worth $3 billion, and she's on a stage at the Democrat convention saying that she's been on the receiving end of racism, sexism, and income inequality. Now, here's the deal. My understanding is that she did have quite a journey to be where she is right now. That's the celebration, but not for the Democrats. Their story over and over and over again this week at the convention, with zero policy to offer you about solutions that would make your life better. They just come out to pinch, to poke, to prod you so that you feel a certain kind of way and that you relate to these speakers who come on the stage, Oprah being one of them. And the connection that you have to Oprah is that she knows what it's like to be you because she understands racism, sexism, and income inequality. I'm not here at all to debate or to detract from her experience of those things. The truth is, and this is the dirty little secret here that is never discussed when we're talking about politics, Republicans, Democrats, any of this stuff. I think, to quote Joe Biden, name me, what did he say? Name me the time or something like that. But
Make my day.
That was something else. But name me the country on the face of this planet where you will go and people who look differently from one another, where there isn't some sort of racial tension that exists. In fact, the United States, oh man, Brad, correct me where I'm wrong here, is if we are the melting pot of the globe, if you're in Europe and you don't look Italian, you stick out.
Oh, yeah.
In Italy.
Oh, yeah.
If you're in Germany and you don't look German, you stick out in Germany. They've had a lot of people migrate into these countries without any assimilation as part of the process. It's become problematic there to great extents. When Oprah goes on the stage and she says that, you know, she's been from the redwood forest to the, whatever the next line in the America the Beautiful or whatever the song is, I can't remember. When she's saying that and she's saying, you know, I've been all over this country and I've seen some things. I've experienced racism and sexism and income inequality. I've experienced that here. You can't go anywhere else and not experience that. That doesn't exist everywhere else, but just in big bad America, we don't know how to act. But guess what? In America, a young, impoverished black girl can come to be a $3 billionaire on the DNC stage, as she told us last night, as a registered independent with a free voice to share with the American people. I mean, God bless America. That is a champion story, but that's not what they celebrate when Oprah goes on. That's not what she says. That's not the message that she delivers. Because I would think that this celebration of Oprah Winfrey in the United States of America would be that she came from what she talks about, and in America, you too can become what she has become. With a lot of hard work and a little bit of luck. In America, we don't limit people that way, except we do when the Democrats have power. We're told on the same stage, from the same podium, about how bad billionaires are, and then we have billionaire after billionaire taking the stage to tell us how bad we have it in this country and how dangerous it's going to be in the future if the other side gets a chance back in the Oval Office. I mean, just really imagine the balls behind something like that, where you're trying to figure out, while you're raising 4 kids in the Midwest, while you're trying to put kids through school, while you're trying to put yourself through school, while you're maybe working 2 jobs, while you're trying to trim back on things that you used to be able to afford with no problem and were a little bit of a luxury, but you could afford them and you worked hard and you enjoyed those things because you earned them. You're pulling back on that stuff. The grocery cart looks a little bit different because you can't afford what you used to be able to put in a grocery cart. And Oprah Winfrey, the $3 billionaire, comes onto the stage and reminds us how scary it is in the United States of America. And if we get the orange band back in there, it's going to be bad. The same person who has multiple times interviewed Donald Trump and spoken with Donald Trump on his behalf and been like, so you want to run for president? I mean, you can't make this stuff up. Their gaslights have gaslighting. They are perpetually obsessed with managing your emotions. And they are relying on you to feel so much that you don't even take the time to think. And I'm looking, gosh, it's like, how distorted is an X feed, a Twitter feed? And the videos that you can see, you're curating your little slice of what that looks like. It's not real life. But I am seeing video after video after video from influencers that I've never seen before, heard from before, just going out on the street. I mean, good grief. You've got Don Lemon on the boardwalk in Atlantic City going, who are you going to vote for? And people are saying Trump, and they're saying it because they're talking about what their actual lived experience is, and the Democrats aren't even mentioning it. Kamala Harris is going to speak tonight. She has not delivered policy conversations anywhere where she is nailing down, this is what I want to do. If you've heard chatter about the tax on unrealized gains, I mean, this is going to blow people's minds if she actually puts that in print so that people can consume it, and she confirms it, and she tries to sell it to the American people and say, you need to pick me. Look what I can do. If you listen to Barack Obama's speech earlier this week, all his entire beginning of his speech was to say, some people don't trust government, and that's a shame. We need to change that. Government is for the good for people. I believe that Barack Obama believes that government is the solution to the problem. I believe that Barack Obama sees problems and thinks, we can collectively fix this problem. I'm going to have to take your money to do it, but it's worth it. And I think in many ways, shapes, and forms that he believes that what he's doing is for the better. I just think it also happens to be simultaneously un-American. It's not how we do things here. We're not offering people equal outcomes. That's not what we do here. We're not taking from people that have gotten a little bit more. Going back to what Michelle Obama said, how her mother, she championed her mother. I'm sure her mother was a lovely woman, but she's talking about how her mother was very suspicious of people who took more than their share. And she got like the number in my head is $70 million for her book.
Yeah, she's like a net worth of $70 million, and they've got 3 houses that are multi-million-dollar homes.
I mean, not how does she, but how would you reconcile saying that on a stage? Forget about these people who have lived an elitist life that we could never come to understand, that we will never know what it's like to be in their position where money is of no object, and you're doing this and you've made yourself believe, maybe you've always believed wholeheartedly that you're doing what's best for the cause. But how would you reconcile having that kind of net worth, having multiple multi-million-dollar homes, and go up in front of an electorate and tell a story about your mother that you just lost, who was suspicious of people who took more than their share? And to do that, to work your way directly into those innermost heartstrings that you can pull so that you can affect an outcome from somebody, that you can tell that story so that you can motivate somebody to take an action that you want them to take for the end that you are trying to reach. I could not do that. People say, Annie, Donald Trump himself is a billionaire, so he says. Yeah, but he's not ashamed of it. He doesn't deny it. He actually talks about how when you put America first and the American people first, more opportunity becomes possible for the American people. And it's all without the idea that government needs to come in and pull all of those strings to get people where they need to be. This Democrat Party, I said this yesterday, and I will double down on this today. They've got nothing. They just need you to feel. And they will tell you how to feel. They will tell you when you need to feel afraid. They will tell you when you need to get angry. And they will tell you when you should feel joy. That is what they have. And that is a paper tiger that goes nowhere if people open their eyes and are willing to challenge the status quo that is out there. If you're a suburban woman, you vote this way. If you're a black man, you vote this way. If you're a black woman, you vote that way. If you're a white man, you vote this way. If you're Gen X, you vote this way. If you're a boomer, you vote that way. I mean, just count all the boomers and give those votes to the one person. The Gen Zers give those votes to the other, and then let's just see where it shakes out. We don't do that because that's not actually the way it works. Make sure you're talking and having conversations with people in your life that aren't buying it, and you can see it in their eyes. You know that they're moderates. You know they don't like Trump. Maybe they were RFK fans just because it was an alternative to the two-party system. and just talk to them and care about them and be genuine with them and be willing to discuss something that most people won't anymore because they're too afraid to. Be the person who's not afraid, and be the person who has a way with their eyes and with their tone, can communicate to that person before they actually get into the meat of the conversation that you care more about them as an individual than you care about however they vote. Don't even ask them how they vote. Just talk about the issues. You could make a difference. Because, I mean, it's quite refreshing to me. As much as I said last night in my house, I said, this is like shock therapy. And my oldest daughter said, what's shock therapy? I'm like, you know how I hate spiders? And she's like, yeah. I said, this would be like if you wanted to cure me of my cure of spiders, you would dump spiders all over me until I was okay with them. And she just looked at me like, I wouldn't do that. It's not going to happen. Having to sit in front of the DNC and soak in the words that these individuals are saying at first, it's very tough because they do bring up emotion. They do make you feel. And when you know what their record is, you know what they've done when they've had the power of the offices that they seek or promote. You know it's not good for America. You know that. So when they take the stage and they're happy and they're pointing to the crowd and they're soaking it all in, this is the pep rally before the big game. Of course, if you go to the red team's gym and they've got a pep rally and they're running out the paper and they're running a lap and Jock Jams is playing in the background and everybody's hyped up and pumped up, you go to the other gym, they're doing the exact same thing for their own teams. Of course they are. But then they got to come together, they've got to meet, and they've got to play the game. It's hard to watch the other team celebrate and thump their chests and say things about the other team. It's hard to sit there and watch it at length. But after you do, you realize that the Democrats have nothing. They've got nothing. And if the Republicans fumble this ball because they don't put everything out there on the field and they beat themselves, that's the biggest tragedy that could lie ahead. Don't let ourselves beat ourselves. Show up and help finish the job. Go connect yourself to your county Republican groups. Get involved. If you're in the position to make donations, call people, text people. TP, Turning Point Action, is a great partnership that you can make. There are so many things you can do. Don't be sitting on November 6th and going, gosh, this really sucks. I wish I would have done something. I wish I would have done more than just tweet or listen to the radio and scream at Annie. Like, get involved. Do something. That's what the left keeps saying. We can do that too. The YouTube live chat poll for today is, who wins the election? We get to hear Kamala Harris speak tonight at the DNC, or at least I will for you if you can't stomach it. But I encourage you to tune in. I encourage you to listen and pay attention. They don't have anything. They've got nothing. See for yourself. At the end of it, you go, really, that's it? That's the best case you can make? Okay. Game on. Let's go. Who wins? Annie Fry YouTube channel. Go vote in the poll. We would love to hear what you have to say about it. We'll get your reactions throughout the course of the show. And we'll tell you how it ends at 2:45. When we come back, Vance Spakovsky is going to be with us. We've got Tyrus in the 1 o'clock hour as well. Lots of Annie Fry show ahead. Don't go away.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Jen Teskey is with RE/MAX Alliance, and she's a trusted voice for realty in Illinois. She's my trusted voice. I lean on her with all my questions, and you can too. If you're looking to list your home in Illinois, please consider listing with the Jen Teskey team at RE/MAX Alliance. She knows what she's doing. She has an amazing staff of folks with her that help position your home for the best experience, and they're very honest. I think that's really something that if you sign up to list your house and you do it with a friend who just got their license and so on and so forth, you think you're doing them a favor, but you kind of need somebody who's maybe a bulldog, but just definitely understands the lay of the land and also will be willing to tell you the things that you need to hear in order to exact the best outcome. And Jen Teskey and her team will do that, and you're going to love them. I mean, it's not even painful. 618-541-1010, 618-541-1010. Reach out to Jen Teskey. Tell her Annie sent you, and you can just start the conversation. Of course, there's no obligation when you call. 618-541-1010, JenTeskeyHomes.com.
Whether you own a local business or a global one, you're always looking for ways to position your operation to create opportunities and move on them faster. With Bank of America, you get access to experts, award-winning insights, and business solutions so powerful, you'll make every move matter. Locally and globally. Visit bankofamerica.com/banking for business to learn more. What would you like the power to do? Copyright 2024 Bank of America N.A.
Kick off fall with Labor Day deals at Lowe's. Right now, buy one, get one free on select interior paint via Lowe's gift card rebate for your next paint project. Plus, My Lowe's Rewards members save more on select 1.5 pint or 1 quart mums. Get 5 for just $10. Shop these can't-miss deals today before they're gone. Lowe's knows home improvement. Valid through 9/4 while supplies last. More terms and restrictions apply. Program subject to terms and conditions. Details at Lowe's.com/terms. Subject to change. See Lowe's.com/rebates for details.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call, and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
You're listening to The Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. Air Comfort Service is hiring licensed journeymen. Don't have a journeyman license? Air Comfort Service will help you get it. Get guaranteed hours year-round and more. Apply online at aircomfortservice.com.
Show feedback or topic commentary.
Whiskey Dickerson Annie Fry t-shirt is literally the most comfortable shirt I have ever worn in my entire life.
Let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app. This is The Annie Fry Show. The Annie Fry Show is streaming online. Watch us live on YouTube and subscribe.
I see her stretching out below the land, blessed motherland, the place where I was born. Scars, yeah, she's got her scars. Sometimes it starts to worry me, 'cause lose, I don't wanna lose sight of who we are. From the mountains high to the wave-crashed coast, there's a way to find.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. Thank you for being with us this afternoon. The YouTube live chat poll for today, it's pretty straightforward. Who wins the presidential election? Is it Harris, Walz, or is it Trump, Vance? We want to know what you think. Go to the Annie Fry YouTube channel and let us know what you think. Leave a comment, vote, and we will highlight some of those throughout the course of the show. Let's get to our next guest here, Vance Spakovsky, with us once again, the Senior Legal Fellow at the Heritage Foundation, also a former FEC Commissioner. Hans, welcome back to the show. It's good to have you.
Oh, yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. I wanted to ask you a little bit about the election coming up because I've got polls. This is what's going to happen. And then the next week, that's what's going to happen. But the number one thing that I hear from listeners is, can we trust the elections? And I know that it's state by state. Virginia, I think, has had some updates in how the governor has approached the voter rolls there. What are the things that you're seeing right now that are going to make a difference in how this electoral college shapes up?
Well, look, there's all kinds of things. I would tell folks that generally we're going to be in better shape in this year than we were in 2020 because so many states, Missouri among them, put in all kinds of good election reforms. And then we've had other individual efforts. The governor of Virginia, as you were mentioning, specifically ordered his state election officials start checking DMV records, and as a result, in the last 2 years, they've removed 6,300 aliens who were registered to vote. On the other hand, the Inspector General of the U.S. Postal Service just released a report that ought to make people leery of using absentee ballots. In essence, what they said was that there were huge delays in the delivery of election-related mail, and they had set up these kind of regional centers for mail processing, which meant that, as an example that the IG gave, people voting by absentee ballot in Utah in the primary election, their ballots, instead of just simply being delivered in Utah, were sent to Nevada.
No. Oh, no.
Yes, they were sent to Nevada for mishandling, I should say, and as a result, many of them apparently were then, when they were returned to Utah, delivered late. So the U.S. Postal Service, it's clear from this IG report, isn't up to the task of effectively delivering absentee ballots. And as you know, so many people have switched over to using those. You know, if you really want to vote before Election Day, if you're a state that has early voting, you ought to go in person and do it. Don't trust the U.S. mail service.
I think that's great advice. I have voted. I'm in Illinois. I think we get 40 days to make a decision and pull the lever in the state of Illinois. And I have voted early. I was going to be out of town on a primary election day, and it was very simple to do. And I went in, filled out the ballot, put it in the machine, and it was counted. And it was a positive experience. I wonder what you think about, you know, in a state like Illinois. I hear a lot of people like at the RNC saying vote early, trying to push Republican voters to get their vote in and bank the vote. That is the name of the game in a lot of these states. Do you encourage that? You've literally written a book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. What do you think about this idea of encouraging voters? You know, don't wait till Election Day. Get out there, vote, get it on record.
Well, look, if your state has early voting, yeah, take advantage of it. I don't necessarily like early voting during the primary season because if you early vote during primaries, often the candidate you may have voted for may drop out right before Election Day. That's not a problem with the general election. So, yeah, because of the kind of issues that can arise on Election Day, like you'll recall in Pennsylvania, where they ran out of ballots in particular polling places in the state, all of which seem to be mostly in Republican areas. If you early vote and they run out of ballots, well, obviously you still have time to vote. You may not have that on Election Day, which is another reason why, I don't disagree with get in there and vote early. But like I said, do it in person. Don't use absentee ballots unless you really have to.
I think that's great advice, and I think it's something that might put some people at ease. We got a lot of staunch voting only on Election Day people out there, and I understand that, and I respect that. But the situation, the status quo has changed, and if Republicans want to try to win under these circumstances, they're going to have to win before they can change the system. Last election in 2020, I'm thinking, just kind of going around here, Nevada, Arizona, Georgia, Pennsylvania, Wisconsin, Michigan are those swing states that really decided that Joe Biden would ultimately be the president. Have we seen dramatic changes in those states specifically that may make them be able to get us results sooner than days and days later?
Some of the states have approved things. Georgia, for example, passed a huge election reform bill that had all kinds of good things in it. In fact, you'll recall they were so good that Joe Biden went to Atlanta to give a speech condemning them as Jim Crow 2.0, which tells you that they were good reforms.
Yeah, that's how you know.
On the other hand, Michigan, unfortunately, made things worse. There was actually a referendum passed there that, for example, gutted their voter ID law. Pennsylvania is pretty much the same with one exception, which is they did manage to convince the Democratic governor to sign one bill. That was a bill that banned zuck bucks, right? Money coming from private left-wing groups going to election officials in places like Philadelphia, which made a huge difference of turnout in the 2020 election. So we at least have that. So it just depends. Nevada, unfortunately, is one of the worst states in the country in terms of not having well-run elections, having a lot of problems with the way they do things. And things there have they haven't gotten better. They've either stayed the same or gotten worse.
And we talked a little bit about Virginia and what the Governor Youngkin has done there with those voter rolls, getting illegal immigrants off of the voter rolls. Do you feel like because of what some of these states are doing to tighten up their elections that maybe some states that weren't traditionally swing states might potentially be part of the conversation in this eventual election here in November when we get to results night? You think the landscape's going to look the same, or are there any other places you're looking right now to maybe see a difference be made?
Well, what I'll tell you about that is that people need to understand and realize that the states that are battleground states, that's not set in concrete. If you go back 30 years, you'll find that the states that were battleground states then, that's very different from the ones that are battleground states today. And while you can do a lot predicting with polls, keep in mind that there's been this huge movement inside the United States, people leaving the big tax overregulated states like New York, New Jersey, California, and heading down into red states. Florida used to be kind of a battleground state going back and forth. It's now a solidly red state, as we've seen in recent elections. So everybody who thinks they can predict this election outcome, I don't think that's really possible.
Yeah, it's going to be down to the wire, and we're going to definitely be following it along here. Hans, I want to thank you for coming on with us. And as we get closer here, always interested in those things that you're picking up on. As I mentioned earlier, your book, Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote, is definitely something people can read up on, how things changed dramatically in 2020. That's my last question for you. With COVID and how things went in 2020, were there measures that were put in place just because we were in a pandemic at that moment that are not in place any longer in this 2024 presidential election?
Yeah, many of the states that started mailing, for example, Georgia is a good example. In Georgia, the Secretary of State on his own mailed an absentee ballot request form to everybody in the state. That's not happening this year. Unfortunately, some states have left those provisions in place, Nevada being a terrible example of that. Nevada, because of COVID supposedly, actually mailed a ballot to every registered voter in the state based on an emergency measure. They've now made that permanent, and they have one of the most inaccurate voter rolls in the country.
It's just outrageous. I mean, if you were trying to make sure 100% that the election was secure, that you didn't create a breeding ground for fraud, it seems like you would do the opposite of what Nevada has done at this point.
That is exactly right.
Yeah. It's just...
you've pegged it right exactly correctly.
Well, we appreciate you, Hans. Thanks for being with us, and we look forward to more updates as we get closer to the election.
Sure thing. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Thank you so much. Our Broken Elections, How the Left Changed the Way You Vote. Check out his book. He's got a wealth of knowledge about how things were and how they are now, and always great to speak with him. We're going to take a quick break. Wiggins America, we come back in. I have not had a chance to look at what he's going to talk about, so I will find out as soon as you do. And I would say unfettered Wiggins is probably your favorite Wiggins, so you're going to want to stick around for Wiggins America when we come back. Who's going to win the presidential election? Big question, broad question, and it's our question to you on the YouTube channel. Annie Fry YouTube, go vote in today's live chat poll. Wiggins America next.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
No, we're not the same, but that's what makes us strong. From the mountains high to the wave crash coast, there's a way to find better days. I know. It's been a long, hard ride. Got a ways to go, but this is still the place that we all call home.
CassinsCan.com. They want to make sure you remember that when others can't, Cassins can, and that's certainly been the experience for my family. Multiple purchases of vehicles in our garage from Cassins, and we trust them, and you can too. They're located in Glen Carbon, a mile north on 159, just off of 270. And right now, they are celebrating Jeeps, which is amazing. 0% available on most new Jeeps right now. Reach out to Cassins and ask them about this. If you've been in the market for a Jeep, this is a conversation that you absolutely want to have while this opportunity exists. 0% available on most new Jeeps. 618-800-2712. 618-800-2712. 618-800-2712. Reach out to Cassins & Sons, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram. Tell them Annie sent you and ask them about this amazing opportunity for you to potentially get into that new Jeep that you've been dreaming of. We drive a Jeep from Cassins, not one of the cool ones yet. That's down the line when we don't have car seats and stuff. But a really great Jeep Grand Cherokee from Cassins. We're very proud to own it. We love the vehicle. If you're looking for a Jeep, Cassins has what you need. 618-800-2712. When others can't, Cassins can. CassinsCan.com.
Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed?
Can I make my side softer?
Can I make my side firmer whenever I want? Can we sleep cooler?
Sleep Number does that. Cools up to 8 times faster and lets you choose your ideal comfort on either side. 94% of Sleep Number smart sleepers report better sleep. J.D. Power ranks Sleep Number #1 in customer satisfaction with mattresses purchased in-store. And now, during our biggest sale of the year, save 50% on the Sleep Number Limited Edition smart bed. Limited time. For J.D. Power 2023 award information, visit jdpower.com/awards. To find a store near you, visit sleepnumber.com.
Ugh, I've been feeling so sluggish and just kind of blah. Been there. That's why I take Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites. But I suppose they taste blah. Actually, they taste delicious. It's an apple blueberry flavored center covered in a yogurt coating and is infused with probiotics to help support a healthy gut. They come 5 in a pouch. I just toss one in my bag and go. Toss one in my bag? Get your own.
New Align yogurt-coated probiotic fruit bites from the makers of the #1 doctor-recommended probiotic brand. Find them in the digestive care aisle.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely on advertisements.
If you've been injured in a truck accident, you need the best. Onder Law. Let us make your case our cause. Truck accident? Call Onder Law for a free review at 314 or 618-9000000.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
Today's YouTube live chat poll is very important. Who will win the presidential election, Harris Walz or Trump Vance? Here's how important it is. Whoever wins today's poll wins the election. So let us know. It's very, very important that you vote today before 3 o'clock. 12:44, this time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
BREW.com.
Tucker Carlson is paying Missouri a visit, and we're inviting you to join us to see him for free on September 12th at T-Mobile Center in Kansas City. Tickets are on sale now, but you can register for a chance to win online at 971talk.com now until August 30th.
In a little cafe, just the other side of the border.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
So I started walking her way. She belonged to Batman Jose. And I knew, yes I knew I should leave when I heard her say, hey,
Wiggins!
I didn't read your messages.
Well, these are a bunch of stories that'll make you go, what? That make you do a double take.
Okay.
Stuff like that.
This is special today?
No, it's pretty much every day. It's just that some days I have a little sounder that
Okay.
is kind of fun. Yeah, something like that.
That's how you know.
This is how you know that it's what day? It's Thursday. I almost said it was Wednesday. So the first one.
Gosh, these weeks are going fast.
I think the exact opposite.
Maybe it's because I'm having a good time.
Yeah, when you're having a good time, it's at the expense of everybody else, and so nobody else is having a good time. Yep. Going very, very slow. The DNC has taken credit, I guess, or taken responsibility for the projections that were done at the beginning of this week on Trump Tower. Have you seen this story?
Project 2025.
You got it. That was one of them. So
what else was there?
I don't know who from the DNC rented a room in a hotel across from Trump Tower in Chicago, and they got a high-powered projector, and they were projecting messages onto the tower, which I think is actually pretty clever.
I think it's hilarious.
Yeah, I do too.
But I want Trump to do the same thing.
I do too.
I just want it to be a battle.
Yeah, Project 2025 headquarters was one of them, which I don't think is really moving the needle. I mean, you can do that all day.
Only for the nerds. It just makes people who are super passionate about hating Trump remember that they're super passionate about hating Trump.
That'll show them.
Project 2025. I mean, go up to like a dude at lunch, in line at lunch, wherever you go to get lunch today. Like where you are right now, say, hey, Project 2025, and see if they know what you're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, they don't. Can almost guarantee it. That was one of them, was Project 2025 headquarters. Another one was Trump Vance, weird as hell.
Oh, no. Ouch.
I know.
Is there
Vance dropped out of the race.
Is there a worse line
He was like, ouch.
than J.B. Pritzker's, like, the only thing he's a billionaire in is stupidity?
Oh, man, I stood up and started cheering. I was like, that's an amazing line, because I knew we could use it forever.
Sounds like an 8-year-old line.
It does.
It's not clever.
Yeah.
It's not even true. Like, if you were going to accuse Donald Trump of being something, stupid wouldn't be the thing you would accuse him of being. People accuse Kamala Harris of being stupid. I don't think she's stupid. I think she's if she's failed a lot, she's definitely failed forward. She's about to potentially be the president of the United States. But J.B. Pritzker goes up there right after Bernie Sanders is like, billionaires suck. And J.B. Pritzker's like, but I'm a better billionaire because Donald Trump's stupid. Okay.
No, even that would have been better. He's rich in stupidity. It's just a bad line.
It just sounded like
it just didn't hit.
In a blizzard. From Amy Klobuchar.
She was on last night.
Yeah, and she said something. She said, I don't know what the direct quote was because I didn't see it. I read about it, but apparently she said, and Tim Walz is going to school J.D. Vance. I'm like,
see it.
Oh, because he's a teacher?
I'll tell you the truth. I tried, and I watched a ton of the DNC last night. As a professional obligation, I just sat down and watched like an hour and a half of it. And I was going to watch Tim Walz, but Amy Klobuchar came on to introduce Tim Walz, and I was like, I'm done. I can't keep watching. I can't even watch the headliner.
Opposite goal that she should have with the audience.
Yes. I kept doing what you were just doing, blizzard, while she was talking.
I don't even really dislike her.
Oh, I don't hate her or anything, but her cadence is that same joke.
But
it's that joke over and over and over.
She's a United States senator.
Yes.
So I don't feel sorry for her.
No, she's okay.
But
I don't have a problem saying that I don't like Amy Klobuchar's policies.
Woman. I told my kids the whole story, the whole snow
Did
woman
they love it?
blizzard. They thought it was funny.
Did they refer to her as Olaf now?
No, not yet, but maybe now.
They should, and we should. The last one that I wanted to mention that they projected onto Trump Tower, I think there was only these three. Trump Vance, Weird as Hell, Project 2025 headquarters, and Harris Walz, Joy and Hope.
It's like a Christmas decoration.
Look at these things.
Put that on an ornament.
These things are fine. You're trying to pick a slogan, your bumper sticker, boom, you got to hit it, you got to move on. It's just that that's all it is. There is nothing
These
else.
aren't even like painful insults.
No.
I don't even feel attacked. I'm just like, okay.
Trump sees that on his tower. He goes, I'm not even associated with Project 2025. Now I'm mad. They really got him.
What? That's how we all feel. Pause.
Shoplifting deterrents, like locked cabinets, are actually moving people to shop more online.
Oh, this is shocking. Nothing like asking a clerk to come get your deodorant for you from behind a plexiglass thing. I don't have to do this anywhere I shop, which I guess I'm blessed to do.
Oh, I see a couple spots, and I think my local Walgreens puts all the razors and the deodorant behind glass now. And so maybe some baby food. That happened right after our babies weren't babies anymore, so it didn't really affect us. But retailers, they're just getting it from every side. Retail crime is eating into retailers' profits, and high theft rates are also leading to a rise in store closures. So they're closing all this stuff up behind glass to decrease theft, but it also causes sales to drop by 15 to 25% for anything they put behind glass.
No joke.
And it's making people go shop online more.
Mm-hmm.
Duh. That's exactly what I do. If I walk into a store and I see something that's behind glass, I'm not going to buy it. I'm not going to wait there for a clerk. You just said the same thing. You're not going to do it. I don't know who is. Apparently 15 to 25% of us are just moving on. Sorry about the pause there. Airlines, this is news, and you got to log this for next time you fly. Airlines won't let you fly when the entire top of your skull is bleeding.
Okay.
Okay? It's just one of those.
What about on Spirit?
I don't know. That's
It's
a
a
check
prerequisite
Spirit.
for getting on.
Just a upcharge.
Is your skull bleeding? I don't think you can
step
get
right
on.
over here. We'll get you going.
I think the last time I got COVID was from a Spirit Airlines flight.
Really?
I was coming home from Florida.
I'm sure that they're not the only airline who
No.
has confronted COVID.
No, I'm sure they're not, but personal experience, that was the last time I had COVID.
Did you not get a seat with extra space?
Do they have extra space?
I've never flown Spirit, so I don't know.
I think they're all, the nice thing about Spirit is they're a new enough airline that the seats are all kind of new and it feels fresh, but they're not wide. If you are bleeding from the top of your head, just to back to the story here, don't try to fly, because a man found this out who had a fully, and the mugshot even, the mugshot's taken way later, obviously.
Mugshot?
Yeah. So
you buried the lead.
So the guy and his girlfriend try to get on a plane. His whole head is just bleeding. It's massive head wound, Harry time. He is letting it go. He's not trying to cover it up or anything. Apparently, he did have bandages, but they were so bloody that they're like, dude, you've got to change those. He didn't have any more bandages. So they said, well, you can't fly then. And he got belligerent, him and his girlfriend both, and said, you better let me fly or nobody's flying. And they're like, that's a threat. So then he got arrested. In his mugshot, you can see blood trickling from his head still.
I don't like that.
And it's because he had just had hair transplant surgery.
Oh, man.
And he had those little pinpricks all over his head, and they were all bleeding, and he didn't handle it very well.
Did he get the hair transplants done at the airport?
I don't know. Must have been pretty recent. Last one. Donald Trump says he would consider Elon Musk for a cabinet role. Former President Trump said Monday that he would consider Tesla CEO Elon Musk for a job in his cabinet if he wins in the election. Quote, he's a very smart guy. I certainly would. If he would do it, I certainly would. He's a brilliant guy. That's the quote. We don't know exactly what that position might be, but Elon Musk has been hinting that he wants to be over the government,
Government efficiency?
Government efficiency, yeah, that's what it was. The acronym was DOGE, Doge. So,
Department of Government Efficiency.
Could Elon Musk? I mean, do you think this is real, or is it just like a goofy story? Or do you think Elon Musk could ever actually serve in a Trump administration?
He served in a Biden administration for like a week and was like, "This sucks."
I didn't know this.
Yeah.
What was the role?
I think technology, like maybe space or technology or something like that.
Oh, I did not know that. But would you be for Elon Musk doing something more in the financial realm?
Well, it sounds kind of leftist to be like, we need to be more efficient in government. Let's create a department. So I don't know. I'd have to know more about like what's the function.
Yeah, somebody who is running that much business. I'm always for people who are in business being in government, especially in finance. I just don't know if he's
in the business of government.
Yeah, I don't know if he's the right guy, but I wouldn't mind exploring the possibility. So there you go. There is today's Wiggins America with a bunch of stories that make you go, what? Thank you very much.
You got 60 seconds.
What do you want me to do? You want me to do a little dance?
Dance. That's the best thing you could do. There you go. Gosh, I wish you guys could hear this.
It's pretty solid.
It would be better if you did tap.
What era would you say this is from?
A bygone.
All right, fine. You one-upped me.
Yes, thank you.
You win. You win this round.
Tyrus is going to join us when we come back. Our YouTube live chat poll, who wins the presidential election? Is it Harris Walz or is it Trump Vance? And are you going to tune in tonight to see Kamala Harris come back to her convention, because she has not been hanging around here lately? She's going to be back to take the stage. Is she going to talk about things she's actually wanting to do? Is it dangerous if she does? Let's get what Tyrus thinks about the Democrat convention versus the Republican convention on the Annie Fry Show when we come back.
Hi, I'm Bob Kershaw with Retirement Advisory Group. Are you worried about market volatility in this election year? Are you concerned your money won't last you through retirement?
Hi, I'm Tammy Kershaw, and as a family-owned business, we are committed to protecting your retirement, whether you're nearing retirement or already retired. We have a lot of folks that aren't aware of all the new investment choices that are available, which give you growth and protection from losses at the same time. Are you aware of all the fees that you are currently paying? We can show you how to avoid those fees. So come in now for your free retirement review and get a second opinion on your retirement plan. And just for coming in, you'll get a copy of our latest edition book, Your Key to a Worry-Free Retirement. Let us show you how to retire with confidence.
We are proud to say we haven't lost a penny of our clients' money in 38 years, and we won't lose a penny of yours either. Let our family help your family. Call us now at 314-993-9494 or go online to retirementkey.com. That's retirementkey.com.
If your family is like mine, the question about dinner, it all starts with protein. What are you going to eat with protein? And then everything else kind of fills in. When we shop at Ruler Foods, we love getting protein from there. Wonderful meat products in their meat department that you can save money on each time you purchase. Now, if you are a shrimp person, they have a Sandbar shrimp bowl, 7 ounces. These are all $5 each. Fresh pork loin chops, 5 count, $5 each. Fresh chicken drumsticks, a 4.5-pound package, $5. Fresh thin sliced chicken breast, 1.25 pound package, $5. Kroger bacon wrapped fresh beef fillets that are 6 ounces, $5 each. And Heritage Farm beef patties, 2-pound packages, $5 each. You can make sure that you're saving on everything you put in your grocery cart when you shop at Ruler Foods. The Fry family loves to save our money as much as we possibly can by shopping at Ruler Foods. You can find the one that's closest to you very simply by visiting them online at rulerfoods.com.
If you have a problem with the IRS, believe me, it's not going away on its own. The IRS never gives up. They have endless resources, so they control the game. Well, your tax problems can end. I'm attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm, a local tax resolution firm with an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau. I've handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years. So when you hire me, you won't be speaking long distance or sending money to some TV pitchman that that's riddled with consumer complaints. Your first visit is completely free and confidential, and I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120. That's 314-260-6120. Or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
Joy is coming. Lisa Brady, Fox News. That's how one campaign surrogate describes it, with Vice President Kamala Harris set to accept her party's presidential nomination tonight.
Those presidents that appeal to the best of who we are in the worst of our times to help us to get to higher ground, that's the feeling that America will get tonight.
New Jersey Senator Cory Booker as Democrats prepare to wrap up their convention in Chicago. The Trump campaign focusing today on border security.
I think that it's important to remind people that the wide open southern border has had a very direct consequences, even as far away from Texas as South Georgia.
That's where Trump running mate J.D. Vance is right now as the former president lands in Arizona to visit the southern border and meet with families impacted by what he calls migrant crime. Just getting word, a second Memphis police officer accused in the fatal traffic stop beating of Tyree Nichols last year is changing his plea to guilty. Now former officer Emmett Martin scheduled to appear in federal court tomorrow. Another former officer pleaded guilty in November to charges of excessive force and obstruction of justice. 3 other fired officers are still charged with federal civil rights counts. The FDA just approving updated COVID vaccines designed to provide better protection, including this winter, by more closely targeting recent strains as a summer surge in COVID continues. Thousands of union workers locked out by Canada's 2 main railroads after months of contract talks with the Teamsters hit a wall on issues including scheduling and work hours.
Now, this could be devastating to the Canadian economy. The stoppage is estimated to hit $730 million in goods each day, spanning industries like agriculture, retail, auto manufacturing.
Fox Business's Kelly O'Grady, that stalemate could also impact the U.S. supply chain. More than 6,000 containers enter the U.S. every day by rail. America is listening to Fox News.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
The best things in life, they come in twos. 2 scoops of ice cream, 2 tacos. And now for a limited time, get our best deal of the year. Buy any phone when you switch to Consumer Cellular and get 2 months of service free. That's right, the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage as Big Wireless, now with 2 months free. Proof the best things in life really do come in twos. Visit consumercellular.com or call 1-888-FREEDOM. Second and third month of monthly base service fee waived for new customers with the purchase of a phone and activation by September 2nd, 2024. Taxes, fees, and third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation. Weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're looking for August weather, you're not going to find it again today. Sunny and nice this afternoon. 81 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy. 70s for any evening plans. 61 for the low. Friday, sunny. Nice morning. Little warmer, though, Friday afternoon. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, 92. And Sunday, partly sunny and 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're considering new windows, there's nowhere else to go but Window World. Mark Cox here. My friends at Window World are doing something now they've never done before. That is offering up to 36 months interest-free financing for your purchase. So you get the great windows put in now, you get the energy efficiency, the great look, and then you have 36 months to pay for it. How about that? Window World has been around for a long time, and their reputation speaks for itself. They are highly rated in the Better Business Bureau and all all of the rating agencies. They're big supporters of our St. Louis Blues. And here's the thing. If you mention you heard this on the Mark Cox Morning Show in 97.1, you're going to be entered in a drawing for 4 Blues tickets during the upcoming season. And that's great. They're going to pick a winner every month, and good luck to you. If you need new windows, I'm telling you, Window World is the way to go. 314-993-1800. That's 993-1800 or windowworldstlouis.com.
If you're thinking of selling your home, I'm sure there are 2 things you want: certainty and the most money, right? Hi, it's Mark Cox, and if you've been listening to me for some time, you know the only agent I trust is Gloria Liu with Your Home Sold Guaranteed Realty, St. Louis real estate expert. Here's why she should be your first and only call when looking for an agent. Gloria doesn't make empty promises. No, she provides written guarantees. Now, what does this mean for you? Certainty. Now, certainty isn't the only thing you want. You also want the most money. Gloria is able to get her home sellers more money than the average agent because she already has the buyers. This is why Gloria will guarantee to sell your home at your agreed-upon price, or she'll buy it. To get your guaranteed price, call St. Louis real estate expert Gloria Liu at 314-325-6888. That's 314-325-6888. Or visit GloriaHasTheBuyers.com. That's GloriaHasTheBuyers.com.
Conditions apply. Gloria and seller must agree on price and possession date.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Mortgage rates have finally dropped. That's right. Golden Oak has 5.375% fixed rates available right now. Our average cash-out customer saves over $1,000 a month. Call today and take advantage of our 5.375 fixed rate. Call 314-567-GOLD. That's 314-567-GOLD.
Golden Oak Landing, cured my blues.
5.934 APR. FHA 15-year 20% equity qualified credit. Additional terms apply. NMLS 114937.
Join us for Midwest WINGFEST in Fairview Heights Labor Day weekend. Wings, drinks, and music, all to benefit combat wounded soldiers. A huge variety of food and music. It's all in Fairview Heights. Info at MidwestWingFest.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong, I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Remember, he had an improbable turn that made him president, and we were in the middle of a pandemic and an economic crash. He healed our sick and put the rest of us back to work. And he strengthened our alliances for peace and security. He stood up for Ukraine. He's trying desperately to get a ceasefire in the Middle East. And then he did something that's really hard for a politician to do. He voluntarily gave up political power.
You're becoming like my most stable relationship.
Enough said.
Let's speak to our friend Tyrus. He's a regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor as well. You need to check out his latest book. It's called Nuff Said, and you should check it out, buy it, read it, and read it again. Tyrus, welcome back to the show. How much you got to be watching some of this convention, because I see you on Gutfeld after the fact.
Yeah, I have to watch all of it.
It's hard. It's hard to do.
I think you have to look at it from the perspective of it was their day and it's their week. And I tried to find a few things that try to find some common ground. And honestly, the only ones that, Bill Clinton's going to be Bill Clinton. He's always been a great communicator. Even Father Time has even took its toll on him a little bit, but he can still have it. Barack can still, he can do a speech, man. And I think I had forgotten what it was like to hear Democrats speak clearly.
Yeah.
So when so the problem was I was hoping to hear what the plan was, but I think that they're going with the it's just no to Trump is their entire platform. So it was what I thought it would be, and it still continues to be. There's no fact checking afterwards. There are analysts afterwards. I think this is their moment. I think it's funny that they can't get their story straight on, did he give it away? Was he asked to give it away? Was he told to give it away? They try to make him out to be a hero, and then they bury him at the same time. So I think it's telling. I think the disorganization, all of a sudden the country music and being white is cool again. I guess that's good for white Americans who have been basically for the last
we've been waiting for a while.
10 years the most worst thing in the world was a white person. So I think it's funny that they're coming full circle because all of a sudden white men, they apparently need them now, and hunting is cool. So I'm learning a lot of wow. So but I also look at.
Do you believe it though? I mean, it's not even genuine from where I'm sitting. It doesn't feel real at all.
Well, I mean, none of it is, but I think if you're watching when you watch a group, like it's just like watching film on the opposing football team, and you see their strengths and their weaknesses. And for me, it seems like their entire platform is about creating this fear around abortion, and that seems to be the entire core of their whole campaign. Their whole message is that if you vote for Donald Trump, you won't be able to get an abortion, and and I think that's what they're running on. So if looking at this if I was on the Republican strategist team, I would have a real sit down and be like, if the Republican Party agreed to restore Roe versus Wade, what would they have to run on? And you want to bring in the independent women, and you want to we've all grown up as Roe v. Wade is the law of the land, and whether you liked it or didn't like it, it was consistent, and if you're right to life, you're going to feel a certain way, and if you're this, that, whatever. But at least it was not on a front issue on the election, because people voting off that myth that they're trying to create. Because state to state, I personally don't think a man should ever tell a woman what to do with it. I mean, I can't even tell them what to cook. You know what I'm saying? So it's like in my house, I'll be like, I want this for that, and you're not getting that. You're going to have this. Or your sorry self can make it, yourself. And we know what I'm like in the kitchen. So,
Tyrus, what I really wish that the Republican Party would do, and I am unapologetically pro-life. I think life begins at conception. I also realistically understand, as somebody who lives in the state of Illinois, that post the overturning of Roe v. Wade, Illinois has become a destination for abortion. There's two things Pritzker likes to champion, and that's abortion and pot.
Right.
And that's why people come. Anybody with common sense leaves the state of Illinois. But what Republicans have missed the mark on, and the abortion is the biggest issue in my mind, but this translates to other things too, is that abortion is a cultural issue. These women feel helpless. They think that their choice, that they only have one choice. They're made to feel that way. And we should, as Republicans, as good people, be helping these women without waiting on someone to win an election to solve this problem, because the next person who wins the next election can undo it. We've got to change a culture.
Exactly. And I think that, but I also think sometimes you have to take a step back to get somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
And again, if you take that away, what do they have to run against us on? They have no policy. She can't articulate it. You saw the disaster that it was her economic plan. So again, in terms of trying to win the election, because that's all they're trying to do is win the election by convincing us that Trump is Hitler. Well, if quote their version of Hitler gives them what they want in terms of, if I'm elected, we will revisit Roe v. Wade, and maybe we'll put Roe v. Wade back in. Here, we're giving a concession, and then come back to it and try to find some common ground. I think if even extending this is going to change a lot of minds in terms of it will destroy their narrative, and they're banking on it. The Republican Party is unified. We more than anyone know what the last 3.5 years are like. And it's not going to be, in my opinion, and again, this is my opinion, and again, I'm not a genius. I didn't pass the bar, but I know a little something about life. But in my opinion, I think that would take away all of their manipulative power when he's like, yeah, okay, that's what you want, you got it.
Yeah.
It's
definitely.
What else would you argue about
it's
in
the
terms
key
of
issue.
election? But it's the issue that no matter what happens, because President Trump is a man, and because whatever he says is going to be wrong, because it doesn't matter. You know, even if you're like, well, let's do it like Europe does, and 16 weeks or whatever. Again, I don't ever want to tell a woman what to do with her body, because I talked about it in my book. I've said there's a chapter where I talk about abortion through a man's perspective and what it's like on our side of it, looking at it. And again, it comes back to no one was happy in that office. No one. There was no one smiling. No one would even make eye contact. Everyone was going through their own personal hell. Even if they were making the right decision, what they felt was best for them, they're still going to live with that decision. They're going to have days when they'll be like, man, I wonder if I would have, you know what I'm saying? That's just human nature. And to try to turn it into a fun thing, to me, is disgusting, because it's not. No one goes in there with if you go in there with a smile on your face, you have some serious issues. You talk, because that's not what it's about. It's a really tough decision. And for those people who had their dignity taken away by rape or incest or a medical thing, like, it shouldn't even be an issue. But again, it goes back to wanting common ground and seeing, people, running around the streets talking about, you go to McDonald's to stop off and get an abortion. I mean, they're full of it, and nobody is. Again, it's one of those things where nobody's clean, and you got to live with that decision. And there's going to be buyer's remorse, and so the argument will be, well, don't do it in the first place. But again, we want to be a free country. We want people to make their own decisions in life, and there's consequences, and you have to live with that. And I think that might be a better winning strategy for the Republican Party at this point, because that's what will, I think, bring independent women and moderate women to the table. I really believe in, and we need them to win. We're vastly outnumbered.
Tyrus,
again, this was my sense.
I was just saying, I think that it's a conversation that people aren't willing to have at all. And I think that one of the things that the left has so successfully done has made people on the right side of the aisle afraid to speak up on really tough issues, because then it becomes so combative. It's just easier to stay quiet. And so the left wins every argument that the other side doesn't show up to even have. And
exactly.
To your point about what does the Democratic Party have, as much as I felt like shock therapy sitting there and watching these speeches over and over and over again at the DNC this week, at the end of it, I actually felt a little refreshed and renewed, because they really don't have anything. They need to invoke emotion from you, and as long as they feel like they can pull your heartstrings in the direction they need, it's really all they're even trying to do. They're not even trying harder.
They're a party of feelings, and it feels like reality has nothing to do with anything. They feel like the economy is good. They feel like, and a great point was made, and I can't remember his name, but 12 of the last 16 years has been Democratic in the White House.
Yeah.
So, but for them to not to bear any responsibility says volumes, which means that they don't see a problem, which means nothing is going to change. There's not going to be a new platform with Kamala. She's going to do what she was told, like she was doing what she was told during the thing. The question is the people who are running and calling these super progressive policies, with Kamala, we will still not know who's writing that notebook. And I think if America is okay with that, then it's going to be 4 more years of that. And I really, really, here's the thing. When John McCain and Barack Obama, when they ran, either way, your differences of opinion, differences of policies, but you could live with either one. Romney, Obama, same thing. You might not get everything you want, but there's no extremes in terms of what the platforms were during the election. What happened afterwards is a different story. What we're seeing now is that there's no platform for us to even say, that's one good thing, that if the Democrats win, that we can play in our favor. They literally won't tell us a thing that they're doing, because they're not going to change a thing. The Bernie Sanders, socialist, Marxist, progressive party is getting their way. They're getting their things. The only thing they didn't count on was Americans woke up, and 2 of the squad are gone. Yeah. And possibly more going forward. So Americans are going to have to make that change. But again, I think they would prefer people to vote against Hitler than vote for their policies, because they have done.
Tyrus, what do you expect to see from Kamala tonight? Is she going to be?
It'll be short and sweet and very controlled. So is Walz. I laughed myself when I saw the coach Walz, volunteer assistant D-line coach. I don't really feel you get to call yourself coach. Like there's
Are you trying to
levels
remember who all your volunteer D-line assistant coaches were in your football career?
They were usually team dads, so they were volunteers. They were there a couple days a week, and they were there to help out with like getting the D linemen ready and stuff. It's not like the NFL where they're film study and breaking down technique. I mean, did he teach technique to the D line? I'd love to see footage of that. But again, with him, we have to just take him at his word at this point, and it hasn't been a very good word so far. So, but again, it just comes down to feelings, and all of a sudden, being white from the Midwest is cool again. I think that's the one good thing I took from it, because I really feel, especially white men, have been just blamed for everything, trashed. They can't even speak their mind nor defend themselves, and it's really very reminiscent of when you look at the history books of the 50s and how black men were treated in this country, and we're seeing very similar things in terms of we don't have the days of the lynching and the violence, but we do have a lot of violence against white people in America. And it's always, they're white. So and it's good to see at least they're going to at least lean up on that, take the knee off white America's neck in terms of blaming them for every problem and saying how they shouldn't be here, and, wanting them replaced in every position. And there's nothing worse than white men. And so I found it hilarious that all of a sudden, it's cool again. Camouflage is now okay. Yeah. Don Jr. shoots a lion in a hunting ranch. He should be burned at the stake. If Walz does it, he should get a trophy. That's another thing. I didn't realize you got trophies for hunting. So
you just get the kill, I thought.
Yeah, I didn't know. When you shot the deer, a bear walks out of the woods, and here you go, sir, for your...
Have you ever been a dad coach, Tyrus? I know you've coached, but
no,
have you ever coached your kids?
I was the offensive line coach for Snoop's youth football team, but I was voted coach of the year by the entire league for the work that I did with the kids, on the field and off the field. But as far as me coaching my own kids, no, that's something that I would never do. I'm too close to it, and my job is to be there to support them.
Mm-hmm.
And my son, who is starting to get that football itch or whatever, my job is to be there when he has a bad game, when he comes to me to ask me questions. But to coach my son, I think I'd just be too close to it if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah,
and
self-aware.
I was a very blunt, direct coach, and I don't want it to be an awkward, silent car ride home when like, Dad, did you really said if my put my brain in a bird and fly backwards, did you mean that? Because you say to organize to get, what I'm saying? You got to be. I was, like I said, I was an old school. Like I built, like, the last game that I coached. We were coaching against Mike Allstott and those guys in Florida, and their kids were a year older than my kids, and they were way bigger than my kids. And my kids were a little nervous, and I said, listen, you have helmets on and shoulder pads on, and I know how to cheat. So here's what we're going to do. The first play, I want you to call him any name you can think of and pick a fight with him.
Oh,
and they were like, why? 3 times our size. I said, yes, but you're going to use your pads and helmet as protection. Just go turtle. And while he's trying to whoop on you, the running back's going to run by you. Guess what? He's going to get tired. Hold him, pull him out. We'll take the flags in the first quarter. Bully them. Like, make these guys who are thinking they're just going to run through you. And it worked. And by the third quarter, they were exhausted. And then we ran the ball down their throat, and we beat them. And I remember one of the parents goes, I was ready to pull my child until I saw what you did worked. I was like, yeah, sometimes you have to motivate young men and tell them things. But coaching is styles and things like that. But the kids will tell you about it.
Yeah.
The kids speak the resume. I still get calls from my kids I coached and stuff like that. So I find when you call me, but I would never call myself the head coach of Snoop's Youth Football League or the offensive coordinator or the general manager of the league.
There are big things in your future, Tyrus. You have no idea what you can do with that kind of
clout. I couldn't coach because I was coached directly by alpha men, and athletes are different now, and I don't think I would relate. There's no crying in baseball. There's no crying in football. There's no whining, and there's no questioning either. Like I never said to my coach, "Hey, I'm triggered when you say the F
and
word."
What would have happened?
Triggered, he would have been like, "Oh, well, let's get you out of here." I'm triggered to pull your scholarship. So again, it's like when you hear somebody say those things, there's just stuff, he just doesn't come across genuine at all, I think. And he has more fond memories talking about China, and that's not a shot. I'm just saying, but he won't talk about that on the stage. But yet there's so many documented evidence of him praising that, but yet he won't talk about it, which makes you kind of raise your eyes. If you spent that much in China and understand, then you should be an ally in terms of knowing their moves and their stuff. But we never hear that. We always spoke so fondly of it. And with China, you're either surveillance or you're a part of it. So it's very eyebrow raising to me that as much information is out there about his time teaching in China and everything, that he has nothing to speak on in terms of policy, and like no one knows how to deal with it. I was there. I saw it. I saw the way that people were treated. I saw this and that, whatever. You never hear that. So that concerns me a little bit.
Tyrus, were you part of I watched the Netflix special years ago on Snoop's Football League. Are you in that?
I think I was gone from then when they did that.
Okay.
But there was always cameras around.
It was I learned a lot about what he was doing and the amount of respect that I earned for Snoop Dogg for what he was doing with that football league.
He basically owns a school bus to drive the kids to and from school and practice, so moms don't have to. He lowers the cost of playing football. Like if you have 2 kids playing football in a family or 3, you're only paying for 1 registration. Yeah. Like he loses money every year on it, and he doesn't care. It's not, and not only that, like they aren't the Pomona Pirates. He literally worked to get the licensing so he could call the teams NFL teams. So and have the same jerseys the teams do. So when these kids step on the field, they are pros as if they feel the whole point is to build up their confidence and let them feel but it's not about pushing their career in football. It's about teaching them the importance of education, of being on time, showing up, pride in your work. And when you do those things, good things happen, and you feel good about yourself. And young men, especially in these days, need that type of, especially when they're young and there isn't a father present in the home, or the parents are working, or worse than that, you have parents who care more about Facebook and TikTok than spending time with their kids. That's where athletes and coaches are really important. But coaches aren't parents. They're trying to build them to be able to compete in the world, on the field and off the field. And he just doesn't strike me. And again, I've never had a conversation with him, but based off my observations and my research and looking into him, I just don't see those qualities in him. I see a person who will tell you whatever you want to know. He's everybody's friend. And anybody who knows me in wrestling knows when somebody's everybody's friend, I'm the first one to say I don't like them. And they're like, why, Tyrus? I'm like, because if you're everybody's friend, you're nobody's friend.
Yeah, it's real.
And that's real as it gets.
Well, I appreciate all the insight there, and I really would encourage people to learn more about that Snoop Dogg Football League. I'm glad you were able to talk about that.
I appreciate you not bringing up last week. Your name was besmirched, and I just want you to know that I had nothing to do with it. I was
okay.
I was appalled.
Okay.
It was several times when he was talking about like he's the star of the show and this is how the real things. I did not want any part of that. I was really concerned with the besmirchment. There was a lot of outcries online, and I was glad that I was not blamed in any of it. But for the record, and I'm sure he's sitting there with his mouth open right now. That's right, I'm dropping dime, bro. You were completely out of line, and I think it's great that you allow him to even be in there based off his behavior. It just shows that you are, but you are forgiving, and it's about do your job. But you might want to rethink the next time you call out that guy because you get a little power in his head, he just loses his mind.
Conversations are going to be had now. Yes, I appreciate that.
Yeah, I mean, he wanted to change the intro music and focus more on him and his accomplishments. He was talking about better ways to raise your kids. He was completely out of line.
Oh my gosh! Thank you for the details, Tyrus. Yeah, I can count on you. Yeah. I know I can.
Yeah, well, that's why I was appalled. I just want to say I was appalled.
I appreciate it.
I only went along to get information.
Okay. I appreciate it. Tyrus, hang in there tonight watching Kamala Harris. We'll be watching Gutfeld as well. Thanks for being with us.
We finally beat the Astros in a series, so I'm happy.
No, I don't even know. The Cardinals. Oh, Arenado did walk off last night in extras.
Yeah, walk off last night. Yeah, you can't complain. It was a nice shot.
Oh, we're complaining. But not about last night.
No,
thanks,
that's
Tyrus.
all you can do.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Our friend Tyrus, regular on Gutfeld, Fox News contributor, and his book, Nuff Said. Go read it. I really appreciate his conversation there, especially about the abortion issue. I disagree with him on certain parts of it, but I think we have different reasons for coming together in the middle and agreeing in the end. And those conversations are important to have. Went a little bit long there with him, but it's Tyrus, and he gets the time when he gives us the time. Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we'll get Mr. Ryan Wiggins back in studio. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
MidwestWingFest.com. Have you gotten your tickets yet? I want to hurry. I want you to hurry to get to the website, MidwestWingFest.com, for this coming Labor Day weekend, August 30th and 31st, Friday and Saturday, at Fairview Heights, St. Clair Square by Dillard's. This awesome event where you can go out and enjoy delicious food, great wings, all sorts of kind of like carnival food and more. And you also get to do it for a really good cause. So tickets are $5 for patrons, 12 and over. MidwestWingFest.com to get your tickets. But this food and music festival in Fairview Heights benefits combat wounded soldiers and families of local fallen heroes. This is something you can do locally. That's the money that's raised stays and benefits local heroes. It's a no-brainer, folks. You can upgrade your experience from that $5 ticket for everybody who gets in 12 and older to a VIP ticket, and that is going to include unlimited chicken wings from Dandy Inn and beer from Chick Fritz Distributors, as well as private restrooms. Come enjoy the music. Come enjoy the atmosphere. It's wonderful. I've been multiple times. It's a great way to celebrate Labor Day weekend, and it's in Fairview Heights at St. Clair Square by Dillard's. August 30th and 31st, that's the Friday and Saturday of Labor Day weekend. Tickets available at MidwestWingFest.com.
Attention, Missouri residents in need of care at home. If you have Medicaid and need assistance with daily activities, you can receive free in-home care from a loved one, funded by Medicaid with no cost to you. Freedom Care, Missouri's #1 home care provider, gives you the power to choose who provides your care, and they get paid instantly. Imagine your daughter, son, a close relative, or trusted friend helping you with cooking, transportation, laundry, and other activities in your own home. You get the help you need, and your caregiver gets paid instantly after their shift. Freedom Care has over 5,000 five-star Google reviews and is #1 in Missouri for in-home care. If you have Medicaid and want great care from a loved one that's 100% free to you, go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-3027. That's 314-557-3027. 314-557-3027.
Hello, this is Chad Clayman with ClaymanGroup.com, KLAMEN Group.com, where we buy houses direct and as is condition. Did you just inherit a house and you're not sure what to do with it? Maybe it's got a lot of stuff in there and you're really not sure what to do with the stuff and how to sell the house. Well, we do a lot of work with people that inherited property. We're very familiar with the probate courts. So if you have a house you just inherited, please reach out today. We'd love to make you an offer and simplify your real estate situation. KLAMEN Group.com.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. If you're not sure who to call for air conditioning services, contact the team at Air Comfort Service. With 55 years of experience and thousands of five-star reviews, you can trust them with the comfort of your home. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
The Mark Reardon Show.
Thursday afternoon, Brian Kilmeade interviewed Donald Trump on Fox and Friends. We'll have his reaction. Also, it's Kamala coronation night. It all starts at 3.
Weekdays from 3 to 6.
St. Louis's home for conservative talk.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Follow Annie on Instagram at The Annie Fry Show.
What a woman wants. Any man of mine better be proud of me. Even when I'm ugly, still better love me.
I had 24 kids in my high school class, and none of them went to Yale.
Okay.
That's a weird brag.
I know. I don't know why, but I don't remember who it was. I retweeted him, but they're like, weird flex. And every time I scrolled past that tweet last night, I laughed out loud some more because it is. Like, what else did you all not do?
Not a one of them made 6 figures.
Did he misspeak? Like,
No.
was there, you know how you can say something and in your head it makes sense and it still makes sense in the words that you say, but it could also be interpreted in a different. I mean, I was trying to dig at J.D. Vance. That J.D. Vance went to Yale. There was a speaker earlier that was like, as soon as J.D. Vance could, he up and left Ohio and went to Yale. Well, that's where Yale, you have to leave Ohio to go to Yale. That's never, ever in the history of Democrat time been, like, embarrassing.
Yeah, that's what's so bizarro backwards about it, is this sounds like things that conservatives say, like, he went to Yale, but it's Democrats saying it. And it's also funny. It's like all the different, things that they normally believe. But this time, who cares this time? Because we're just trying to win the White House, like the billionaires thing. That you were talking about.
Well, as you guys know, I grew up in a very poor family. I was raised by a grandmother who didn't graduate from high school, much less from college. And I'm proud of the fact that she really worked her tail off, that she, went to her grave fighting to give me opportunities. I'm not ashamed of the fact that my grandmother sacrificed for me and I was able to live the American dream. I'm proud of what I accomplished. And more importantly, I'm proud of all the people who sacrificed in order to give me a better life. I would think Tim Walz would want to praise people who sacrifice to give their children and grandchildren a better life, not put me down. But I guess this is the political order of the day. He's going to attack me. That's fine. But I'm proud of my family. I'm proud of what they sacrificed to make my life possible.
So J.D. Vance's story isn't a silver spoon story.
No, he worked his way up. The point is that he was in Ohio, and then he went off to an Ivy League school.
Look at this loser. He went to college, and then he did good, and then he went to Yale. What a dummy.
Yeah.
Hey, who is hearing that and going, I thought I liked Trump Vance, but I hate it when people go to school out of state.
It doesn't make any sense. And it really, to me, is more evidence to the fact that they hate Trump. They hate everything in Trump's orbit. And you could literally say anything, and they're like, that's right. Which brings me back to Chacarone.
Yeah, like you could come up with an economic plan and go, you know what? We were wrong. I really do think communism probably is the way. Like more handouts for everybody. They'd be like, what the heck is this commie yelling about now? What? We can't do that. This is America. We're capitalist.
It's just repeatedly these remarks going back to what we were talking about before, where J.B. Pritzker's like, the only thing that he's a billionaire in is stupidity. And it's like, oh. That hurt real bad. That's real painful. I wanted to play this for you guys, and I hear this a certain way. You guys might hear it a little bit differently. When we were talking with Tyrus, he was talking about like it's good to be a white guy from the Midwest these days. It's pretty happy for you too. You guys feel seen?
Well, this is our moment. Yeah. I mean, we're not top of the ticket. It's still the coastal elites that are having a bigger moment than us.
Yeah, but they're allowing us a
little
bit of sunshine.
Yeah, we appreciate that.
I don't know.
Dana Bash wanted to highlight this moment, especially in the DNC convention.
But they are doing so in trying to put forward male figures, Tim Walz being one of them, Doug Emhoff last night, who can speak to men out there who might not be the sort of testosterone-laden, gun-toting kind of guy who wants to listen to Hulk Hogan and the kind of players that came out at the RNC, or might want to listen to that, but also, in addition, understand that it's okay in 2024 to be a man comfortable in his own skin who supports a woman. And that's something that they really are trying to work on with male voters beyond the base.
So you still feel seen? It's a big moment in time for men who have less testosterone and who want to allow the woman to be in the spotlight and to stand where they feel comfortable in the shadows, and they don't need to have guns and Hulk Hogan.
She sounded like she just kind of, let me add another sentence and another sentence and another one.
As she was saying it, she was hearing herself going, this isn't going well.
You know what we should do? The problem is, but she is hitting on some really key factors there. One of them being that if you like wrestlers aren't that smart. You know, we should probably ask Tyrus what he thinks about that. See if he has any political opinions on whether Dana Bash is right on CNN.
I mean, isn't what she's saying there is like the men of the DNC are less masculine men, and it's about time.
Actually, yes.
That's what she's saying.
She's 1,000%
She's
what
trying not to say that. That's what's so weird.
And she
can't
not
do
being
it.
successful at delivering that message without being like, look at all these betas.
Yeah. She's trying really hard to say, look, masculinity is in right now. The Democrats are embracing that, but not really, because they're not really masculine.
I'll see your camo hat, but we're gonna put a chick's name on it.
Yeah.
And then, and that's how
if you
do it.
want to be masculine, you can still like think about masculinity, but when you support a woman, then you're not as masculine, is basically what she kind of got to at the end there.
I've seen more white men at this DNC be emotional. And Tim Walz and Doug Emhoff specifically. I have no problems with an emotional man, a man who's in tune with his feelings. I don't want to be around a man that's crying all the time because he's sad. I would want to help that man if I could. But, you know, a man who tears up, usually it's because of pride. It's proud. When your kid accomplishes something or there's a momentous occasion, like a father that gets a little teary-eyed walking his daughter down the aisle, like that's completely understandable. And, you know, I could see a situation where when Doug Emhoff is watching his wife, whom he loves, up there in this moment, that I can understand the emotion behind it. I don't understand Tim Walz's entrances to the stage. And I was praying that he would kick last night when he came out, but he didn't.
Uh-huh.
So they've gotten to him. And I think that it's a shame that they're trying to make him be somebody he isn't.
Me too. Yeah, because who he is somebody who loves cartwheeling onto the stage.
He's good enough exactly the way he is for the Republican Party.
That's what I said about Doug Emhoff, too.
Yeah.
I've been a big Doug Emhoff for long before he was into politics.
You've been a big Doug Emhoff?
Fan.
Fan.
Forgot to say fan. Yeah. Forgot to say fan in that sentence. But now that he's into politics, I'm more of a conservative, and so I'm not as big of a fan. But he kind of is masculinity to me.
I do want to add in this part of this conversation on a more serious note that Gus Walz is Tim Walz's son. They showed him last night. Did you see the videos of this?
Only afterward. Yeah, I haven't seen it. I didn't see it live.
Tim is talking on the stage about IVF or fertility treatments because he's once again told a story in a way that has political buzzwords in it that wasn't entirely true.
Oops.
And Walz's wife had to come out and say, well, we didn't do IVF, but we did do fertility treatments. Okay, whatever. None of it should matter because Donald Trump actively pursued getting southern states to make sure they protect IVF, and it actually happened because Donald Trump came in and spoke on the issue. With that being set aside, when Tim Walz, the governor of Minnesota, the vice presidential nominee on the Democrat side, came up and was talking about his family and IVF, he talked about his daughter, who I've heard the story multiple times. His daughter's name is Hope because she was conceived through fertility treatments, whatever. His son was there too. And when I was watching last night, I was watching it live, his son was overcome with emotion, was incredibly emotional, was pointing at his dad like, that's my dad, that's my dad. And it was a very quick Google search, and he's neurodivergent. He's got a nonverbal condition. He has ADHD, whatever. He has multiple conditions that potentially lend him in a social situation like that to react to it a little bit differently. And I was fighting with more Republicans on Twitter last night than I was Democrats. I just went and found this People article that explained it. And the Walz family calls his condition his superpower. And so I just quoted it, and I was like, let's just leave Gus Walz out of this conversation. He's not the target. He doesn't need to be. And if you felt like it was if the reaction that he had to his dad being on stage was obvious, immense pride and a lot of emotion, and he handled it the way he handled it. I just want to encourage everybody to understand the condition that Gus is in and just move on from that, because this is easy. Gus is not the target. There are plenty of things to talk about the governor of Minnesota, Tim Walz, and how detrimental he would be to the country, but it's not about his son, and it doesn't need to be about his son. And a lot of people a lot of people thought that I was like a lefty. And I'm like, well, no. Somebody took my Twitter profile picture and just copied it back to me and just said cringe. And I'm like, well, I'm voting for Donald Trump, but it's very nice to meet you. But like, do a little research before you start smacking people around, whatever. People were often repeating to me, like, now you know what it was like when they go after Barron Trump. And I'm like, that's not okay either.
That's the point. That's the point you're making.
Because they've done this to Barron Trump before and you don't like it, we should do this. Like, that's just not the way I play. And I'm not going to not stand up for a kid that doesn't deserve that type of treatment, especially out of ignorance, because you don't know the circumstance that this kid is living with. So I'm putting it out there so that you know, because I understand if you didn't have that detail, you might react to it one way. But since you have that detail, hopefully go back to talking about Tim Walz's kicks on the stage, because he has put himself in the spotlight. So.
Yeah.
Let's take a quick break. We're going to answer the poll when we come back.
Okay.
Who wins the presidential election? You got to go on record, folks, on the Annie Fry YouTube channel right now. Just type Annie Fry, F-R-E-Y, into YouTube. You'll see our live broadcast come up. And in the live chat of today's live broadcast, you tell us who wins the presidential election, Harris Walz or Trump Vance. We'll talk about it when we come back. Don't go away.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Air Comfort Service, aircomfortservice.com. They are celebrating 55 years of creating a great comfort zone for you in your homes, in your businesses, in your churches, wherever you have an HVAC system that needs to be tuned up, maintained, or replaced. Air Comfort Service can help you with that. You can right now, for a limited time, save $55 off of any AC repair, or you can save $55 off of a new water heater. I've had Air Comfort Service install a water heater in my home. It was a wonderful experience, and happily with 6 people in our house right now, we can all take hot showers when we need to. That's good. There's less stinky people. That's always important. Air Comfort Service is there to guide you through all of these things that you have to deal with in your home that you're not really thinking about. You just kind of take it for granted that it's going to be cool when you want, warm when you want, the water is going to be hot when you need it. They can help you and make sure that you save a little bit as they celebrate 55 years. So reach out to them about their $55 off summer specials. You can call them directly at 314-513-0091 or hit them up online at aircomfortservice.com.
Home values are sky high, and you have a ton of equity. Your financial advisor thinks the market is peaked. So if you're thinking about selling, it's time. Except for 2 things. High interest rates will burn you on a new home loan, and you're not ready to move. Savvy financial advisors suggest TrueHold's new Sell and Stay program. It's ingenious because they buy your home now while its value is high, but you can stay in your home as long as you want with an easy, affordable lease. Smart, right? TrueHold will make you a solid cash offer, not a lowball offer like the others. It's based on your home's current value. The cash is yours to travel, pay off bills, or secure your retirement. And again, you can stay in your home with a comfortable lease. TrueHold covers property taxes, insurance, and maintenance. See how much TrueHold will pay for your home today. Call 1-855-300-9993 or visit TrueHold.com. The smarter, faster way to cash out your home's value without moving. That's TrueHold.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm. If you own a timeshare, don't miss this public service announcement from Chuck McDowell, founder of Wesley Financial Group.
If you receive an unsolicited phone call or mail piece to discuss selling, renting, or especially canceling your timeshare, don't fall for it. If you really want out of your timeshare, hang the phone up immediately or throw that mail piece in the trash and contact your timeshare resort or Wesley Financial Group for assistance with your timeshare. As the only Inc. 500 timeshare cancellation company, our knowledge, experience, and results has made Wesley a trusted resource for over 40,000 families we've helped get out of their timeshare. Give us a call and I'll send you our timeshare exit information kit free with the straight facts about your timeshare and all of your options for cancellation.
Call for your free info kit. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444. 800-513-4444.
The Social Security Trust Fund could run out of money in less than 10 years. Discover why this could change when you file for your benefits on Your Retirement Professors, Sunday evening at 6 on KFTK 97.1 FM Talk.
Who's going to win the presidential election? Is it Harris Walz or is it Trump Vance? That's today's YouTube live chat poll. We would love for you to participate. You go to YouTube, you type in Annie Fry, and the live stream will come up as well as that poll. You can comment and vote there. 149. This time check sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone? Listen to 97.1 on the Odyssey app and click the microphone to leave a voice message. Whatever's on your mind, let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
Can't fight the temptation when you get the vibration. Won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. You better start rolling when you hear the man calling. It won't do you no good. It won't do you no good. No, we don't mind if you don't mind. Hell, I'll never mind.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So we got the question for you on our YouTube chat. We've got 325 votes already. You need to weigh in and let us know what you think and see where the results are so far. Who wins the presidential election? No, we haven't heard Kamala Harris speak yet in full, her big speech at the DNC convention. But we've heard everybody else, and she's tonight. We've heard both sides make their case. Brad, you can go first. Who do you think wins this election?
I really think Trump and Vance win it. And I'm not sure how close it is, but I think that it has the potential of not even being close. I mean, it could be really close, but a few states swing one way. And
do you think he could win the popular vote?
Yeah, I think there's a possibility. I think that possibility is smaller now than it was when it was Biden. I thought he was almost definitely going to win when he was going against Biden, but I think that possibility has gotten smaller now. I think Kamala gives him a better shot.
What do you think?
I'm going with my original pick of Joe Biden. Biden-Pence.
Shush.
I am going to pick Trump-Vance.
All these people listening right now are like, these people are crazy.
I'm picking Trump-Vance because and this is very much a feeling. I love going on numbers, but in this case, I'm just going to say I got a feeling that the enthusiasm for Harris is manufactured. I just don't think.
How manufactured?
Like almost 100%. It's Democrats are excited about it again because they think, oh, maybe, because they didn't think they had a chance. So Democrats are excited, but Democrats are the media. Democrats are a lot of these institutions that push this stuff. So they're pushing it. And the DNC this week has really shown that they're really good at doing that. But they've also shown that they're not really doing anything else. And that is starting to show through after about 3-4 weeks of this.
It feels like a total house of cards because you hear people saying this type of nonsense. Last night, this was she's the Attorney General of Michigan, I think.
Yes. Yeah.
Is that right? And She's speaking up there.
By the way, I got a message for the Republicans and the justices of the United States Supreme Court. You can pry this wedding band from my cold, dead, gay hand.
Okay. Should we pray for her? Is she sick?
I hope she's not dying.
It sounds like it.
And then there's grave robbers. Like, there's a lot going on.
Yeah. Theft times are tough.
No kidding.
Nobody is going after gay marriage. It is done. It is passed. Marry who you love. That is the law of the land. Nobody's asking the question.
Republicans haven't mentioned this. Nobody in Republican media, which we happen to be in, ever talks about this.
No.
It's not an issue. It's done. It's passed. 2015.
Are they really scared about that? I think there's a two-part thing at play here, which is, and I don't know which one she falls into. There are the people that are constantly stoking fear, and they want to give you things to be super afraid about, but they know that it's bologna sausage. And then there are people who are really afraid about it, and they do feel like there is a real danger ahead, that if you're married to somebody of the same sex, that if Donald Trump has never, not one single freaking time, said that he wants to end same-sex marriage. Never. He's actually been very supportive of people in his circle. He's put people, he had the first homosexual cabinet member, and I think it was Richard Grinnell. Nobody talked about that. That's like the accomplishment of the Biden administration, is that they have a super diverse cabinet. And, gosh darn it, Donald Trump scooped him on having a gay person in there. And it wasn't a big story because the left didn't want to make it a big story, but also because of his qualifications to do the job. One of the qualifications wasn't like, we need a gay guy.
Yeah, right. Yeah, it was like, this guy's good for the job.
Make him have the job.
Yeah, right.
And in the Biden situation, it's not you can't say the same thing about that.
No, that's the reason to hire somebody.
And to brag about it.
Yeah.
Like if you asked him what his legacy is, in his speeches, in the one he delivered so long ago at this DNC convention that people don't even remember it, he probably doesn't either, that he talks about how, his administration reflects America. Well, are they good at their jobs? I mean, is that the priority? Because it could look really diverse, and it could be great, but it doesn't feel great right now.
When you ask people, why are they voting for Kamala Harris? Well, she's a woman, and she's a woman of color.
It's about time we had a woman of color in the office. And I'm like, that one?
Really? That's your go-to answer too?
Yeah, I just don't. Who wins the presidential election, Harris or Walz? They both say Trump and Vance. What do you say? Go vote. We'll be right back.
If you have an IRS problem, getting accurate legal advice could help get this all behind you right now. Hi, I'm local attorney Lance Drury with the Drury Law Firm. The IRS made new changes that make it easier to settle your IRS debt for a reduced amount. Not all our clients qualify, but under the IRS's new Fresh Start program, you may be able to resolve your IRS problems quickly and for less money. But don't wait. An IRS problem is a legal problem. You need someone who understands both the IRS and the law. Don't trust your tax problems to some TV personality. The Drury Law Firm has handled thousands of IRS cases over the last 15 years, and your first visit is completely free and confidential. And I'll tell you on the spot exactly how much it will cost. So if you're facing IRS wage levies, bank levies, or tax liens, call me, Lance Drury, at 314-260-6120, or go to Lance, D-R-U-R-Y, law.com. If you have IRS issues, you need a local attorney, you need me, Lance Drury.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
When you are looking to retire, you need to make sure you have the best coach in your corner, to make sure that you transition with all the right moves and maneuvers. And Bob Kershaw, Tammy Kershaw, and Thomas Helbig, these are your people. They have done it for so many Annie Fry Show 97.1 listeners in St. Louis, and you should be next. You can sit down and have a free conversation with them and just discuss where you are, what you want out of retirement, what you've saved so far, and they tell you how to position yourself to get the most out of it, to have a worry-free retirement, because you know what's coming. That's what the Retirement Advisory Group will do for you. And that first conversation doesn't cost you a thing, zero obligation when you leave. If it's not your bag, you just keep on moving. Don't worry about it. Set up that appointment and tell them Annie sent you at 314-993-9494, 314-993-9494, and reach out to Bob and Tammy Kershaw and Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group. Find them online at retirementkey.com.
At Lakeside Renovation and Design, our secret sauce isn't just the tools we use or the materials we choose. It's our people. We're not just builders. We're local craftsmen, highly skilled in our trades. Our team takes immense pride in transforming homeowners' visions into reality. We're not just in the business of remodeling. We're in the business of making homes more beautiful, comfortable, and valuable. What sets us apart? Integrity and honesty. Our craftsmen exceed expectations because we care. Lakeside, where every nail, every cut, every detail is a testament to our commitment to you.
St. Louis City SC and Schnucks are teaming up on a week-long food drive benefiting Operation Food Surge. Now through August 25th, visit your local Schnucks and donate non-perishable food items. Not sure what to donate? Grab your favorite cereal and peanut butter, canned meats, soups, stews, veggies, pasta, rice, and beans. Join the effort to help City SC and Schnucks fight food insecurity in our region. Together, we can all heal hunger in our city. Donate today.
KFTK FM Florissant. From the Under Law Injury Lawyers, GetJim.com studio.
That's GetJim.com.
97.1 FM Talk. Always live on the free Odyssey app.
He's taking the campaign to the southern border. Lisa Brady, Fox News. Former President Trump visiting the busy Tucson sector in Arizona, where Cochise County Sheriff Mark Daniels is one of the people meeting with him today, telling Fox News earlier.
When President Trump was in office, there were less than 2 million fentanyl pills in Arizona seized. Last year, 111 million fentanyl pills were seized out of Arizona alone. Look at the difference.
Vice President Kamala Harris has said strong border security and an earned path to citizenship should be part of immigration reform. The Democratic Party's platform, released earlier this week, includes a call to pass the U.S. Citizenship Act.
This is a Democratic House bill introduced in May of last year that outlines a pathway for some already in the country and also creates a new status called, quote, lawful prospective immigrants.
Fox's Alicia Acuna. Fox polling gives Trump a double-digit lead over Harris on immigration and border security. Now, in Cochise County, where Trump is set to hold his border event, sheriff's officials are now confirming a manhunt underway for someone suspected of threatening to kill a presidential candidate. 66-year-old Ronald Lee Servad also has outstanding warrants in Arizona and Wisconsin on a variety of charges, including DUI and failure to register as a sex offender. Vice President Harris will accept the Democratic presidential nomination tonight, wrapping up her party's national convention, while pro-Palestinian groups plan their biggest protest yet outside the arena.
The protest organizers say this is going to be a huge march that's really going to shake the city, but so far what we've seen on the streets has not lived up to what they've promised. Last night, a pretty tame outing. At its peak, just about 1,000 people, no arrests, no violence. But law enforcement experts and veterans say there are some extreme groups who do say that they could profit from acts of violence tonight.
Fox's Steve Harrigan in Chicago. America is listening to Fox News.
Point. Hey, you okay? You don't normally miss those shots.
Oh, I just haven't been as regular lately, and it's making me feel sluggish.
You should try Metamucil. It's been a game changer for me. Metamucil's plant-based psyllium fiber helps trap and remove the waste that weighs you down. Ace, you're moving better than you were last week.
Definitely.
Metamucil keeps you moving. These statements have not been evaluated by the Food and Drug Administration. This product is not intended to diagnose, treat, cure, or prevent any disease. Learn more at metamucil.com.
Hey everyone, it's Ted from Consumer Cellular, the guy in the orange sweater, and this is your wake-up call. If you're paying too much for wireless service, you don't have to keep having that nightmare. Consumer Cellular has the same fast, reliable coverage as the leading carriers for up to half the cost. So why keep spending more than you have to? Seriously, wake up and call 1-888-FREEDOM or visit consumercellular.com.
Savings based on cost of Consumer Cellular single line 1, 5, and 10 gig data plans with unlimited talk and text compared to lowest cost single line postpaid unlimited talk, text, and data plans offered by T-Mobile and Verizon January 2024.
Air Comfort Service, heating, cooling, and insulation, weather.
Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
If you're looking for August weather, you're not going to find it again today. Sunny and nice this afternoon. 81 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy. 70s Friday evening plans. 61 for the low. Friday, sunny. Nice morning. Little warmer, though, Friday afternoon. Upper 80s to near 90 degrees. Saturday, partly sunny, 92. And Sunday, partly sunny and 95. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Warning, the following ZipRecruiter radio spot you are about to hear is going to be filled with F words.
When you're hiring, we at ZipRecruiter know you can feel frustrated, forlorn even, like your efforts are futile, and you can spend a fortune trying to find fabulous people, only to get flooded with candidates who are just fine. Fortunately, ZipRecruiter figured out how to fix all of that. And right now, you can try ZipRecruiter for free at ZipRecruiter.com/free. With ZipRecruiter, you can forget your frustrations because we find the right people for your roles fast, which is our absolute favorite F word. In fact, 4 out of 5 employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate within the first day.
Fantastic.
So, whether you need to hire 4, 40, or 400 people, get ready to meet first-rate talent. Just go to ZipRecruiter.com/free to try ZipRecruiter for free. Don't forget, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free. Finally, that's ZipRecruiter.com/free.
It is so hot. I mean, it's expected here at times, especially this time of year in St. Louis. But man, and when it gets this hot, I've heard the egg farmers are having a serious problem. That's just what I heard. Again, it might be true, it might not. It sounds like it sounds like it probably is true that the chicken farmers are having trouble having the eggs because it's so hot. When the chickens lay the egg, it becomes a baby chick. That's hot. So I can only imagine what it is in your house. Well, I don't have to imagine. I've been in your houses when your air conditioner is not working or when it breaks. So if yours is broken or it's not cooling really good, call me, Bart Inman. One easy number, Missouri and Illinois, the easiest of numbers, 314-293-2600, or on the internet, bartinman.com. Now that is a Bart with a B, Inman with an I.com. God bless.
Is your vehicle stopping like it should? Save with summer brake deals at O'Reilly Auto Parts. Get the tools and parts you need for your next brake job with Brake Best Select, Select Pro, and import direct brake pads and rotors now at your local O'Reilly Auto Parts store.
You've got thoughts. Did you know you also have a microphone?
Hello, and thank you for calling the DNC. No one can answer the phone right now because the lights are on, but nobody's home.
Let us know by clicking the microphone in the Odyssey app.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Fry Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show, the YouTube live chat poll for us. If you haven't stopped by the YouTube channel and dropped your vote in, we want to know who's going to win the presidential election. Is it Harris Walz or Trump Vance? Go vote. We don't need to talk a lot about this, but do you think something when you see Harris Walz?
Yeah. I do. I think you don't want to know. I think something. To answer your question, yes.
Is it the same thing I'm thinking?
Yep. I don't know what it is, but I'm going to say yes.
Brad?
Yeah, I see it.
It's just unfortunate. I told a story, and Molly, she was born in 2021, and she was June of 2021. So I think we found out that we were pregnant with her in October of 2020. And Harrison, I think, is a name in our family that we liked for a boy. We found out it was a girl, and I really wanted to name Molly Harris. And then Kamala Harris became the vice president, and I'm like, I can't name her that because she will forever be associated. I mean, like, if you were born, or if you were born, like, right after the first female vice president is inaugurated and your name is the same, everybody's going to think forever. I've heard Harris Faulkner get on her soapbox about, like, the disparagement of her name. And I'm like, I know what you're saying. And also, if it was Harris Fry, it would sound like Harry Fry.
Yes, it would. Yes, it would. My cousin was born in 2000, and they accidentally named him Dick Cheney. Sorry, I couldn't get it out. Accidentally named him Dick Cheney Wiggins. And then it was like, oh, shoot. We didn't even realize.
So he's not the only... I can't...
Go ahead.
He's not the only Richard Wiggins.
No. We have said absolutely do not name anybody's middle name Head. Like, that is off the board because it happens too much. Those jokes, then they write themselves, Annie. Where were you headed with this anyway?
Well, it's unretrievable. Completely and totally unretrievable. I've got terrible news.
Oh, no.
How old are you?
42.
Okay. This is from CNN. Scientists have found that human beings age at molecular level in 2 accelerated bursts.
Oh, no. Is one of them at about 42?
44.
44?
Yeah, you got a little time.
Oh, good. I'll just keep using that.
And the other is 60.
Oh, you got a little time before that one.
In a study published in the journal Nature Aging, scientists at Stanford University and Yang Technological University in Singapore followed 108 participants over several years to observe aging changes in their molecules, RNA, proteins, and participants' microbiomes. The scientists found that human aging does not happen in a gradual linear way. Rather, the majority of the molecules they studied showed an accelerated, nonlinear changes at the ages of 44 and 60.
Now, you know how much I trust Yang, but I'm just going to have to disagree here. I think by the time I hit 44, I'm going to be doing zip lining, probably a little...
Zip lining is your barometer?
Yeah. Yeah, I'll probably be...
Zip lining, you're just hanging there. You don't have to do much.
Well, that's kind of my point, and I can do that now. So if I can do it now and I can do it then this study is stupid.
Have you felt any accelerated aging over the course of your aging right now? Does it just feel gradual, or have you experienced anything yet in your time where it's like, this is really hitting me?
I have experienced certain sudden bursts of aging. One of them is that I've been waiting. Oh, shoot. Now you're gonna think I'm going to a place here, and I'm not. Follow me here. I've been waking up, and I'll look down and I'll go, well, dang it, my feet are all achy. So you can see where I was going here. And I'll stand up and I'll go, why are my feet all achy when I wake up in the morning? And I don't know the answer to that question. Now, could I have phrased that better? Yes. But it's still true that when I start walking around, I'm like, it's just my feet hurt. Why do my feet hurt? I don't know if it's circulation, but it might be a sudden burst of aging. Is that a male problem? Or is that something that, now that you're over 40, you're starting to have that too? It's a Thursday, ladies and gentlemen.
It's a male problem.
Okay, good to know. Yeah, because my wife has not had that problem. And I asked her,
she's very youthful.
I asked her, why haven't you, gotten there yet?
Mm-hmm.
She's like, I don't know. Must be a male thing.
If that's not the clip of the century.
Yeah. I'm having these sort of like premature bursts of aging. And she's not. And I thought that would kind of, I don't know.
Brad,
I just didn't expect that.
You're not as old as Ryan.
No, I'm not.
Do you feel aging?
I do not.
Have you been ziplining?
Oh.
No? Then how do you even know? On Thursdays, what used to happen is that we'd hit this point but it was at about 2:30 during Anna, You're Okay. But now with Trisha on maternity, we don't have that segment for the next 3 months. So it's hitting now, and it's a little more unexpected.
I'm not in front of the microphone. You guys gotta.
No, I can't carry this. You gotta come back. You're the leader of the show. It's your name.
The leader of the show.
Yeah, it's your name on the show.
Well, if you wreck it, if you break it, you buy it.
This is really one of those moments that I can't believe we're on the radio because we're not doing anything.
I was trying.
We're not doing anything.
I was trying to.
Yeah. You okay?
You having achy feet in the morning, that's it? I thought there would be more there.
No, just achy feet. And I walk around like an old man.
Oh man, I just found out that my car is covered in warranty. That is such a big deal. We're getting a new engine.
Remember, again, we're on the live radio.
I know.
This isn't like a podcast. You can go back and edit
That's why I didn't swear.
Okay. Okay.
That's the reason.
Hopefully this is the clip that we submit to the award shows this year.
This is what gets me my next Gracie. I wonder what the antithesis of the Gracie is. I wonder what female name is like the Womp Womps.
Oh, that would be the Dumpy.
The Dumpy?
Yeah. So few women named that these days.
I think that my aging comes in my recovery. If I go exercise, I just feel it longer. And I can take ibuprofen and not... if I take some ibuprofen, I'm good. But I don't want to take ibuprofen every time I work out. Mm-hmm. It just seems like the recovery time or the achiness sets in a little bit longer. And the other thing is, gosh dang it, I've talked about my shoulder on the show before, haven't I?
Mm-hmm. I don't really remember.
A year ago, so volleyball season is back in session. And a year ago in the summer, I was throwing volleyballs over the net. And this really was something I kind of just thought, well, I'm 39 years old. This is probably the way it goes. I was taking them and throwing them for girls to pass back to the setter or whatever. And something in my shoulder did not feel well. And I'm like, oh, I should have done that thing that old people are supposed to do. I should have stretched.
Are we there? I don't ever do that.
I was there and I didn't know it. And my shoulder is still messed up. I can't serve a volleyball. I can't hit a volleyball. I can modify everything I do if I use my arm to throw and my forearm to throw, but I can't, if you were the way you're supposed to throw a baseball or whatever, I can't do that. And I need to go get it looked at. I don't even know, do I have to get a referral for that?
No, it depends on what kind of doctor you go. If you're looking to get surgery, yes. If you're just looking to get it worked out, go to physical therapy.
I've done therapy. I've done massage therapy. I've done chiropractic care. I have exercised. I have weightlift. I have lost weight. I have done everything. I told myself that I was going to give it a year to fix itself. And it is no better now than it was a year ago. So I think I need to bite the bullet and go get it looked at. And I don't even know. I've talked about this on the air before. People have recommended me orthopedics before, and I need to go see one. But I think if I would have stretched, I think I would have been fine. But I'm not thinking those thoughts.
I'm not either. The problem is you're trying to play volleyball and you need to take up some zip lining. But I've got the same issue, and it's been going on for a year. Same thing. Not the shoulder, but it's with my elbow. My left elbow has, I guess it's tennis elbow. I don't play tennis, but that's what they call it. And it's that injury that won't go away. And I don't know what I'm doing.
But I think that I feel like I want to probably lean on the wisdom of the people who are watching or paying attention to the show right now, all 6 of you who are left. But I feel
like the Titanic.
I'm 40, you're 42, Brad's 41.
Mm-hmm.
I think that we're at the oldest age you can be before you have to start acting like
you're old,
like a young old person.
Oh,
yeah,
I hate that crap.
And Dr. Steve G. Hi, doctor.
Oh, hello, doctor.
Says sounds like a rotator cuff injury.
Mm-hmm.
I think it might be, and I figured out how to live with it. But then when I do something maybe naturally in the moment and I forget about it, then it hurts real bad again. But I'm just at this age of 40, I feel like I need to be anticipating old people things as a new old person that I don't really know what those things are yet.
Yeah,
and so I figured I'd go to you for advice.
No, I'm not there yet either. And in fact, once I do get there, I'll probably still just sort of bulldoze right through it until I can no longer even function, because that's what I do. But we should ask the chat if you know, if you're at, what is there an age where you're like, yes, you have to start doing this? Because one of the things that I have started doing is, and it's easier to do when my kids are in school, is once I get them off to school, I'm walking more. I'm just walking. I'm not doing hard physical labor or anything. And I'm not even really jogging. I'm just moving. And by the time I get here, not only am I more awake, but I feel more
Are
like
you outside?
limber, which is terrible to say because I'm like, why do I need to like start moving so that I can move?
I think vitamin D is something that is super underutilized, especially for people like us who might spend, it's easy to spend all of your time indoors. But if you go outside for an hour, that it really does you good. I've been watching, I love Jillian Michaels. I've always loved her. I've talked about her before on Biggest Loser. I loved her attitude, her no-nonsense attitude, because I respond to that. But she has a podcast out right now, and she's talking, and has talked before. She came to, I think it was a Stiefel Theater, and I went and saw her when she spoke there. But the way our food is made right now, all of the things that are put into food that our parents did not have. I was just talking to my husband about this last night, that I think our generation, millennials, are going to be the ones the most screwed by
preservatives,
food, because our parents were not raised that way. Our parents were raised with real food, real butter, real meats and vegetables and all that type of stuff. That was something that was prioritized, and all the processed stuff that we grew up on, our parents, like, everything was processed, but our parents didn't know any better.
Didn't know.
That
They
was
didn't
just
know.
what it was.
Yeah, I'm just like eating SpaghettiOs, and they're like, yeah, that's great for you. It's got tons of tomatoes in it.
SpaghettiOs bad?
I mean, it's just carbs.
It'll tell you on there,
and sugar.
SpaghettiOs has a certain amount of servings of vegetables. I know that is part of the marketing, that they put that in the SpaghettiOs.
Right.
But when I feel like my husband and I have done a really good job. We have meals at home, at the table, everybody's sitting around the table, protein, vegetables, potatoes, or something like that, 5 nights a week, which I think
That's pretty good.
Rare, especially considering the kids have gotten older. We've still committed to it. Jared likes to cook, so that makes it simpler to do. But we've worked our kids eat vegetables. Most of the time, they'll eat a salad. They'll make themselves salad. We don't make them eat other vegetables because they exist. We're just like, eat vegetables. We're not going to fight that fight. And we've always focused on that. But I don't feel like, I feel like right now at this moment in time, it is too hard to avoid all of the processed chemical stuff that gets put in food. I really think, though, that by the time our kids are raising kids, that's going to that's going to happen. There's going to be, they're going to look back and be like, what did you eat? Or, something that we eat right now is going to be forced to reinvent itself in a healthier, more natural way.
I think you're right. I know exactly what you're saying, and I agree with you, but I think one of two things will happen. Either that exact thing will happen where just all food will move in that direction because there's a demand for it, which is true, or it'll become, unfortunately, depending on the economy, it'll become rich people can do it, poor people can't. And there will be this big divide in the way that people can eat, and people who are able to afford to eat healthy will be able to, and people who can't won't.
I was just saying to my husband last night, we've bought a cow. You buy a side of a cow or whatever. I'm like, we've been talking about building a home, and we're getting into like the point where we might actually be doing this. And I was like, I would really be very happy to have a freezer full of locally grown grass-fed beef, buy the whole cow, and then, grow the vegetables, grow the potatoes, grow the fruits and stuff on our own, and eat other stuff is going to make its way in. You're not going to not ever touch anything processed again, but I just feel like the direction things are headed right now, in 20 years maybe, we're going to look back on this moment and be like, what were we thinking?
Mm-hmm. I do too. Except that I don't think the process stuff, it will completely go away. I just think that we'll have a lot more options because people want, you and I, we're on the same page with our kids, trying really hard eat more natural foods, but it's just difficult to do.
Yeah.
Because you don't have time. You got to really devote time and thought to it.
Yeah.
And money.
It has to be very intentional. I'd be curious what you all think about what your experience is or whatever. And also if you have any advice on us as we here on the show continue to age, especially Ryan, because he's really close to senility.
Well, plus I don't take anybody's advice and I just barrel forward into the next whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And so I'm going to need help.
That's like one of the signs.
Not just avoiding injury, but getting over all the injuries that I will sustain on my path.
Phone 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. Rates are down, not as low as they were when they were the historic lows, but those times might be gone. And when you are thinking about refinancing your house and securing the lower rate while it exists, now is a great time to start that conversation with Stewie and ask him about the bagel loan. Because if you do refinance to the lower rates that are out there, they're lower than they've been in a year, I believe. You start talking to Stewie about it. You don't have to do anything until you completely feel comfortable and confident with it. But when you use the bagel loan, only available at Stewart's American Mortgage, you pay no closing costs. So you can secure that lower rate and make that monthly payment to your mortgage lender each month, and it can be significantly less. Lock in that lower rate with a bagel loan refinance with Stewart's American Mortgage. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440. You can Google the bagel loan for more information. NMLS number 226715.
Summer is here, which means pool days, beach trips, and yeah, you guessed it, traffic jams. Oh yeah, and heat waves. Don't let summer catch you by surprise. Get the local news you need, no matter what you're up to, with the free Odyssey app. And never miss a beat with alerts on breaking stories sent directly to your phone. Listen today on the free Odyssey app. That's AUDACY.
Is your home, business, or church looking tired, chalky, or in need of curb appeal? Go Rhino. Tired of painting year after year? Go Rhino. Our unique 3M ceramic technology is perfect for brick, stucco, aluminum, steel, color lock masonite, and more. It's backed by our 25-year transferable warranty to not chip, crack, or peel. Great if you're staying, and even better if you're selling. Our ceramic coating allows you to maintain all of your architectural features. The decision to do vinyl will leave your home looking like a plastic moldy box. With Rhino Shield, in 15 years, your home will still have that, wow, it looks like you just got it painted. We've done large condo complexes, parking garages, pole barns, and commercial strip malls. We coat sloped and flat roofs to extend their lives too. Evaluations are free. 877-25-RHINO or 877-25rhino.com. See what we did there? Genius. Tell them, ladies.
No pain, don't Rhino. Go Rhino Shield. Never paint your house again. Rhino Shield.
Del Walmsley and the Wealth Cycle.
This is the wealth cycle that I've taught for 30 years. Buy one house, 10 houses, an apartment, 2 apartments, 8, 20, 500 units, 1,000 units, 2,000, 5,000 units. And as you keep putting the money and the profits back in, you become one of those rich people. And much quicker than you'd even believe.
Learn Del's Wealth Cycle at GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Use promo code 2024. Save 60%. Code 2024. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. GiveMeTotalFreedom.com. Elitism.
You're listening to the Annie Fry Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating, Cooling, and Insulation Studio. For a limited time, save $55 off a new water heater. Air Comfort Service not only installs attic insulation and HVAC systems, they also install water heaters. For a free estimate, visit aircomfortservice.com.
If you use a smart speaker, you can listen to 97.1 easier than ever. Just tell it to play 97.1 FM Talk. Or download the Odyssey app for your phone and stream the station whenever, wherever. You're listening to The Annie Fry Show on St. Louis's home for conservative talk. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
Welcome back to the Annie Fry Show. So you going to watch Kamala tonight?
Yeah, I think so.
I got volleyball tonight, but I think she should speak
Put it on the Jumbotron.
at,
Yeah.
at a Lutheran grade school.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all,
I think I've got this thing pretty well
there's
figured out.
no Jumbotron.
Oh, really? Oh, okay. Weird.
What do you think this is? Public school?
Yeah, I thought
Taxpayer
this was
funded?
thought this was Chicago.
No, this is tuition funded.
Okay.
So I'm gonna watch it, but Tyrus said this, and I agree with this. Tim Walz's speech was short.
Mm-hmm.
It was not long-winded. I don't think Kamala's gonna go long either.
Hey, surprise, surprise. I agree. She will not say much.
Britt Hume actually said after Walz's speech, he's like, the best thing about that speech was it was only 17 minutes long.
Yeah.
And I get to go home and go to bed.
He's not wrong. I think he's spot on with that. So I'm looking forward to it. I actually think that it's going to be a turning point in the whole election process. When we see Kamala Harris and listen to Kamala Harris, if she gives us more of the same, and it is just full of emotional, identity politic driven stuff, how is she going to make the case to the American people that she understands where they feel they are right now, and she also has no responsibility for it? I don't think she can.
It's incredibly difficult to spin, and this is like the greatest spin machine in the world trying to spin it, and they're almost getting there, but they're not quite. The thing is, you're right, if she gives the same speech that she's been giving, because that's the thing, she's been speaking. She's just not been doing interviews or off-the-cuff press conference speaking, but she's been giving the same speech for 3-4 weeks. If she gives that same speech tonight, the difference is she's just got a lot more eyeballs on her. And you're right, it'll fall flat if that's what she's been saying.
I mean, to me, the whole convention has felt like they have been running against an incumbency. They're like, we can't go back to the way things were. We've already experienced 4 years of how bad things were, and we can't go back to it. And it's like, you guys were in charge. And I think people realize that. The shtick of we're running against an incumbency because our candidate isn't the president, there's the vice president, which is
still part of the administration.
Yeah, part of the administration. I don't see how that's going to play with everyday Americans, especially with prices still being high.
I think that people need to see it, though. This has kind of been my message this whole week, which is take it in. Consume it for yourself. Breathe in the whole context. Not when you pick the highlights up, it's all curated. I mean, if you went and looked at the convention through my timeline, it's all over the place. It's 100% from my perspective, and it's not the whole picture. It's just my view of the picture. For tonight, I encourage you to do it. You can do it. You can make it through. I believe in you. You too, Ryan Wiggins.
Well, thank you. The trouble is, don't believe in me for this because I'm going to have to stay up till probably 11:30 to hear it because they're going to push her as far back out of the spotlight as possible. That's what they've been doing. And like Brad said, even the Obamas, Barack Obama said, hey, the sequel is never good as the original. as if they're not currently in the White House.
The past 3 years have been the sequel to the Barack Obama administration.
And they're trying to do the sequel of this administration. So the messaging is amazing, and it's so bad, and she's such a bad messenger that I anticipate that we're all going to have to stay up late to see Kamala Harris speak tonight.
It's worth it. The more they push her back, the more I want to know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But the less people will tune in to see it. That's the point.
Big news. We found out that the RFK Jr. speech update is supposed to happen right in the middle of our show, right? 1 p.m.?
1 p.m.
Yeah, we worked that out with them. We said this would be good for us, and they said, okay, whatever you need.
I couldn't get a hold of RFK, but I called Nicole Shanahan.
I had already talked to him.
You talked to him?
Yeah.
Oh, shoot, because when I talked to Nicole, she acted like she hadn't heard from you guys yet.
Well, it's just because she didn't know who you were.
That's true.
None of that is true. That's all crap. A rapid shifting of gears.
Yeah.
I saw this article the other day, and I thought of you.
Oh, interesting segue.
Yeah. Do you feel good about that? That I see an article, and I'm like, this has got Ryan all over it.
I'm going to need to know what the article is.
It's a smart move.
Thank you.
USA Today. A woman arrested at an Applebee's restaurant in Portage, Indiana earlier this month after an argument occurred about all-you-can-eat deal offered by the company.
Yeah, I would have thought of me. I would have thought that was me.
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure. I'm going to need an alibi for August 2nd at 8:38 p.m.
Because I would be ashamed to make that argument, but I would do it in a falsetto.
The 28-year-old woman was arrested on August 2nd and charged with disorderly conduct, according to an arrest report obtained by USA Today. According to the arrest report, officers with the Portage Police Department were dispatched to the Applebee's located at 6211 U.S. Highway 6 around 8:38 p.m. on August 2nd for a reported, quote, verbal disturbance.
Mm-hmm.
Have you ever gotten into a verbal disturbance over an understanding of a promotion or deal that was being offered?
I'm going to say yes, but I can't remember.
But
because
you're
that
just
does
basically you're just saying likely.
I would probably do that, yeah.
Police dispatchers advised responding officers that they heard, quote, multiple females screaming and threatening people.
Ooh, multiple females.
One of the responding officers wrote in the arrest report. When officers arrived on the scene, they were met outside by multiple adults, including the woman who said they had been involved in a verbal altercation with the Applebee's manager. According to the arrest report, the group was under the impression that if one person at the table ordered the all-you-can-eat deal, it was good for the entire table.
Ooh. Gonna have to side with the restaurant here because that's obvious.
According to a July 29th news release from the restaurant chain, the, quote, all-you-can-eat deal in question is one that offers endless boneless wings, riblets, and double crunch shrimp. Brad goes,
Yeah, that's what they do.
Served with endless fries for $15.99 a person.
That's pretty good. Bottomless wings.
Mm-hmm.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
$15.99
And how many
per
times,
person.
How many times do those shrimp crunch?
Double.
Double?
Double crunch.
Hey,
I wouldn't
that's
know.
good
I don't need
value.
it. When the manager informed the table that was not the case and that each person would have to pay $15.99 for the deal, quote, words were exchanged.
I like that they got mad. What?
The group told police that the manager became very unprofessional towards them and that nowhere on the menu did it say the deal was per person. And I want to put this story in here because tonight we might go, we'll elect a communist. But in Portage, Indiana, they're working for $15.99 all you can eat for the table. On double crunch shrimp.
Wait, I don't get your connection. Please make the connection for me here.
People are not paying attention to details. They certainly aren't paying attention to this election.
Ah, gotcha.
The responding officer said in the arrest report that the woman then handed him a menu, which showed the words, per person.
It actually did say it?
Underneath the bold lettering of all you can eat, the officer said he showed that to the group. And while doing so, a couple was walking out of the restaurant. The woman pointed toward the couple and told the officer she had exchanged words with them earlier. As the couple exited the restaurant, words were exchanged again, and the woman became, quote, very loud and disorderly, attracting the attention of other patrons. The officer wrote in the report that he warned the woman about disorderly conduct and that another person in that group tried to quiet her but was unable to. At one point, the person tried to place her hand over the woman's mouth. made another attempt to quiet her, but was again unable to.
Okay.
Wonder
Look,
what the deal was on margaritas.
let me say.
I'm sure that they were not forking over perfect margarita money when they're like $15.99 a table for the table, please.
Yeah, I actually appreciate the level of detail that the family was originally seeking out here. Like this, well, you didn't say it was per person. I actually kind of appreciate that. Once the police show up,
When he just gets the menu and he's
and
just
they
like,
get the menu out and they point at it and it says per person, and your entire argument, which was already pretty flimsy, then falls down, then you go, you know what? Here's $16 more.
The woman was then placed under arrest and was later transported to the Porter County Jail.
Oh.
Another person in the group went back into the restaurant and paid the bill in full after realizing the menu stated the, quote, all-you-can-eat, end quote, deal was per person.
See, that's where it connects to politics, is that she came in with a certain worldview. Once proved wrong.
An uninformed worldview.
Once proved wrong, she continued to believe it. That's where we are as Americans.
Not only when she was proved wrong did she continue to believe it, but she got violent in the process of being wrong.
And demanded her rights.
Doubling down. People putting their hand over her mouth going, you need to be quiet, man.
And she shifts her argument. These shrimp only crunched once.
I want my money back.
Yeah, give me a refund. Not only am I not paying you more.
Anyway, it's important that you know that I thought of you when I read that.
Boy, I really appreciate that.
Mm-hmm.
I actually kind of do. Like, I'm ashamed to tell you that when you saw that, and even after reading the story,
I've had that
you thought of
sitting
me.
in my folder for a while.
Have you?
To talk to you about it.
Well, thank you very much.
I just wanted to make sure that you didn't sympathize with the nutty women here.
Here's a question.
Mm-hmm.
If you go to a drive-in movie theater, do you have to pay for everybody in the car or just the car?
Probably depends on the drive-thru. There aren't that many.
I have to look that
What
up.
about Belleville?
I don't know.
And is the Skyview in Litchfield still open? That's where we used to go when I was a kid.
We always went to the Belleville one.
Yeah.
So I've never been to Litchfield.
Well, you know that dividing line that exists between Collinsville and Edwardsville?
Mm-hmm.
It's called Maryville.
Yeah.
I went north, you went south.
Yeah.
Couldn't be seen at the same
I
drive-in.
still think Belleville's probably closer to you than Litchfield, but
I don't think so.
I think so.
Just right up 55.
I know how to get there.
Exit 52, if I recall correctly.
That's impressive, because I wouldn't have remembered that.
I finally impressed you.
Thanks for thinking of
This is
me.
a big moment.
Yeah.
The YouTube live chat poll, who wins the presidential election, Harris or Trump? You have weighed in. Kurt says, feeling miserable about the upcoming election. Not sure anybody is really winning no matter what happens in November. Kurt, chin up. It'll be fine. Frank said, Trump Vance. This is Frank Belleville, I might add. He probably went to the Belleville drive-in once or twice.
If he went to Litchfield, I'm going to be really upset.
Yeah, it's just a really nice one. Belleville's great, too. He said, Trump Vance, I still have faith that more than half of this country is not deranged. Let us know what you think. We'll be right back.
This is the Annie Fry Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Fry Show.
The Diamond Shop, they find them online at thediamondshop.net. You can also sign up on the website, thediamondshop.net, to be a VIP. You're going to get an extra 10% savings on almost all your purchases when you become a VIP. So I would start there. While you are on the Diamond Shop, you're going to learn a little bit about this business that has been serving St. Louis since 1910. They are located now in Clayton. It's a beautiful, beautiful store, and they've got an amazing staff there to help guide you through your jewelry purchase. They have a wide selection of engagement and wedding rings. They have fine jewelry. They have watches. They have pieces for men, pieces for women, something for you. Go check it out in Clayton at the Diamond Shop. You can also enjoy all August long 30% off all in-stock jewelry, 40% off all Peridot jewelry, all through August. And coming up soon, there's a clearance sale I'm going to be telling you about, so stay attuned to that. They do 6 months, same as cash financing. Christmas is around the corner. You might want to be thinking about that. All of the information that you need, as well as the ability to sign up to become a VIP, it's on their website at thediamondshop.net.
Members, if you need assistance with daily living, you can receive a free service from Freedom Care in your own home from a loved one. With Freedom Care, you decide who provides your daily care with help preparing meals, bathing, laundry, transportation, and more. A family member or friend that gets paid instantly after every shift. It's all funded by Medicaid and 100% free to you. Call now to check your eligibility. New to Medicaid, the Freedom Care family will guide you through enrollment, making it stress-free for patients and caregivers. With over 5,000 five-star Google reviews, we've perfected at-home care for Medicaid members and caregivers. This service is free to you through Medicaid, and with our InstaPay app, caregivers are paid instantly. So go to freedomcare.com or call 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915. 314-557-7915.
More good news for Frederick Roofing, voted best roofing company by the St. Louis Post-Dispatch.
For a hole in your roof or a whole new roof, Frederick Roofing.
314-645-2000.
Are you ready to smell better naked? I'm Dr. Shannon Klingman, the OBGYN creator of Lumi, the whole body deodorant that's clinically proven to control odor for 72 hours on pits, feet, privates, and beyond. It's pH optimized to safely and effectively control odor anywhere you have it, but wish you didn't. Plus, it's proven to work better than a shower with soap alone. Whether you shower twice a day or 3 times a week, Lumi works better. And who doesn't want zero body odor? With over 200,000 5-star reviews, I'm so sure you're going to love it, or you can return it for free.
There's a special offer for listeners. Use code BETTER and get 15% off your first purchase with code BETTER, like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LUME Deodorant.com, code BETTER to save 15% today.
And I'll tell you what, there's a lot riding on today's YouTube live chat poll. Who wins the presidential election, Harris, Walz, or Trump, Vance? We're about to find out here. And if you want to participate in it, then you got about 10 minutes. It's 2:45. This time check is sponsored by Jerry Kelly Heating and Air Conditioning.
It's time for a $98 AC tune-up.
Good afternoon. It's Mark Reardon getting set to go here on a Thursday afternoon. A stunning, very troubling story out of the Kirkwood School District. Scott Jennings is coming up. Brian Kilmeade as well. And that's all in just the first hour. It all starts after Fox News at 3.
This is Mission Control Houston at T-minus 53 minutes and 20 seconds.
Are you disappointed? Are you desperate for help? You know what it's
This
like
is
to
the
be
Annie Fry
tired
Show.
and only a shell of yourself.
Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Fry Show.
Start to believe you don't have what it takes, 'cause it's all you can do just to move, much less finish the race. But don't forget what lies ahead. Almost hope, brother, it won't be long. Sooner
I was going to talk about something else, but the song has inspired me. I do hear people and read your comments about anxiety and worry and dread over this election, and you don't have to have that. Either side. I mean, if you're somebody who's listening to the show because you like to peek behind the curtain of what the people on the right are thinking about, or conservatives or whatever, if Trump wins, it's not going to be as bad as you think it is. Now, I could say if Kamala Harris, I'm pretty certain I know how bad it's going to be if Kamala Harris wins, but it'll just cause us to have to regroup and refocus and keep pushing on. But you're still in the moment right now where you can participate in the outcome. You can still contribute. And I think that it's been very much so a practice of elections where people are like, my part is that I show up on election day and I proudly cast my vote. And that's just not enough anymore. You have to do more than that. The other side is doing more than that. And when I say the other side is doing more than that, that goes for both sides. Like both sides are participating in an election ballot harvesting game that requires manpower in order to execute. And you need to be a part of it. Are you guys still up to go to Wisconsin?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I talked to my wife and she said, yeah, go for it. The problem is I know that I have about 4 weekends out of 5 that I'm going to be out of town.
Mm-hmm.
That one would be the 4th.
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, go for it. But I know that she's also going to be like, man, you've been out of town a lot. So I think I'm going to be able to do it. But yeah, it's going to be tough. But let's do it.
It's the election season.
That's the time to do it.
I mean, for us, this election season is less taxing for me because Illinois doesn't have statewide races. There are local races. There are people like Jay Keevan. We've talked about Jay Keevan quite a bit on the show at one time when we did the petition drive, get people out to Edwardsville to sign those petitions, and y'all showed up. Like, I mean, what an underreported story, really, for the magnitude of what we were able to do. Illinois did those Illinois things where they decided to change the rules so that Katie Stewart in the State House District 112 wouldn't have an opponent. They changed the rules, and she helped sponsor and supported and actively participated in voting so that she wouldn't have to face an opponent. I mean, you want to talk about protecting democracy, which I think is kind of a ridiculous statement too, the way it's overused. But in the state of Illinois, you've got people like Katie Stewart who are not advocates for the people in her district. And her message to the people in her district is, I shouldn't have to face an opponent. You should have to.
I'm going to change the rules
yes.
so that I don't have an opponent in this democratic process so that I can protect democracy.
When she does have an opponent and the Democrat Party has to invest a lot of money in that district, that affects the entire state. My understanding is that Democrats have challengers across the state more this time than usual. It's probably still not really much to brag about. But Jay Keevan is like decades of law enforcement. He's been a public servant. He's not a politician. When I showed up to help him that day get those signatures, I showed up. I think I said I would be out there at 7 a.m. I think I got out there at about 6:55 a.m. and he was out in front of this hotel in Edwardsville by himself with a clipboard. I think somebody had just been by to either give him some stuff or maybe sign it or whatever. And he told us this on the show when we were at the convention, the Illinois Republican Convention in Collinsville. He's like, I was feeling pretty lonely out there. I think he said he was hoping to get like maybe 30 signatures or something, like a page full.
And that is called working the ground. That is what it looks like.
Yes.
Showing up at 7 a.m. on a Tuesday at a hotel and hoping somebody else shows up to sign your paper.
And he was there doing it.
And he's doing it. He's been doing it.
And it's a humbling experience. And then we talked about it on the show, on the station with the Mark Cox Morning Show. And the people who were coming from all over to sign that petition for Jay Keevan to challenge Katie Stewart, people were saying it wasn't even really about. A lot of people were there to support Jay for sure. But people are like, I'm just sick of the way Illinois is doing business. Like, I'm just tired of this. This just isn't right. And the truth is, is this a stretch to say this? Maybe, but I think I could back it up. Electing Jay Keevan in the Illinois House 112 district is probably the biggest up yours that you could deliver from a state standpoint in Illinois this election season. To say the whole Democrat apparatus in Springfield got behind Katie Stewart and her essential request to not have to face an opponent in this election. The whole Democrat Party got behind it. This is how they do things. Look on the national level and look at who they're coronating tonight. And how many votes has she gotten? None. This is how they do things. They work the system. They manipulate the system. A lot of Republicans are like, I wish I wish our Republicans who are in office would figure out how to do the same thing the Democrats do. And then there are others who are like, no, it's not right. We're not going to do that. And, take it to the election day thing. You going to go ballot harvest where it's legal? No, voting should only take place on election day. Okay, but the other side isn't playing that game. So you constantly have to ask yourself, where do I stand on this? What do I feel is right? Where can I contribute? Where can I apply myself? And you got to work hard to be a part of the system. You can't sit idly by and then complain when it's over and it goes the way, of course, it's going to go when we all sit on the sideline. And I'm pushing myself more than anybody. I want to go to Wisconsin. I've got the date on my calendar. I've sent the stuff off to Turning Point Action. Once I get the stuff back from them, I'll know more. And I would like to say, I'm going to be up there doing it. If you guys want to sign up through Turning Point Action too, if you're a listener to the show and you are in Missouri and you know it's going red, or you're in Illinois and you know it's going blue, you could change the course of this election by going to participate in Wisconsin. You go to Arizona, you go to Pennsylvania, whatever. Wisconsin, it's right up there.
It's the closest one we can get to.
It's just right there, and it's arguably the closest state.
Yeah. Unless you live really far west in our listening area and you want to drive to that tiny little Nebraska district in Omaha.
Oh, man. Why didn't they change that?
Why
did the legislature not change that?
I don't think it's going to matter, but I don't know. It could. But here's what is a bigger deal. Arizona, 10,000 votes decided that in 2020. Georgia, 10,000 votes. Wisconsin, 20,000 votes. If we can go up there and affect 200, if that, and a couple other people can do the same, I mean, you literally could shape the history of the world.
Yeah, and you're not going to do that nationally in Missouri and Illinois.
Not nationally.
Not nationally.
No.
You need to, I wanted to get the county Republicans involved in it, but they're worried about taking time away from their local races, and I respect that. Yeah. But we need people to be involved. We need people to participate, and I need to go first, which is what I keep saying about the Democrats. They go on stage and they're like, billionaire's bad. And I know I'm a billionaire, but I'm not bad, but they're bad.
Yeah.
The orange one's bad.
It's always the people over there that are the worst.
I would feel resolved if we actually go do it. I would feel good about that.
I would too. And I've been, I've been trying to talk through the scheduling of it, and I can't not. This is something we do for a living, but it is also a very, very passionate heart project for us, the conservative cause, and I want to help it.
Well, the YouTube live chat poll is about this, the outcome here. Who wins the presidential election, Harris Walz or Trump Vance? You say, Ryan?
I say it'll be Trump Vance.
Brad?
I got Trump Vance.
I'm saying Trump Vance, and I am not an optimistic person. 435 votes today.
That's a lot.
In today's poll. Yeah, thank you, everybody who participated. That's awesome. I'm very grateful for it. 73% of you all said Trump Vance.
Okay.
Now we got to put in the work. You got to do the work. I'm sure we'll hear that a few times tonight. Gosh, I wish I had time. I need Kamala bingo. This all happened so fast.
We didn't know she was going to speak tonight.
No. I knew she was going to. I knew it wasn't going to be Biden tonight for a long time. I wonder if Biden bingo will still work. Why didn't she say,
she
come on,
should.
man?
Yeah, come on, man.
Come on, man.
True international pressure.
What are the odds? Bingo. All right. Keep it right here, Mark Rudin. Coming up next.
So, pour another glass of that rock and roll. Turn up the band, find the hole, gonna lose control tonight. What do you want from me? I'm not a married sweetheart.
August is a great month to save money with Chesterfield Fence and Deck in your next beautiful outdoor project. Mark Cox here. For this month, you can get 20% off your completed outdoor project from my friends at Chesterfield Fence and Deck, and what great work they do. Lots of craftsmanship and pride because they've been at this since 1968. It is the sign you have the very best. If you have their sign in your yard, here's the deal. They love to come out and give you free estimates. They love to come out and help you with project design because, let's face it, not all of us know exactly what we want. But, boy, if you see it in a picture and they've got an extensive digital photo gallery, then you know when you see it what you want in your backyard. They've got beautiful fences and decks, and they've got pergolas and screen rooms and custom sunrooms. You'll love working with Chesterfield Fence and Deck, highly rated by the Better Business Bureau. Go to chesterfieldfence.com.
Lutheran education is accessible, and I think it's something that I want to make sure that you know how many Lutheran schools around here, elementary schools, 37 in the St. Louis metro area. You can find a Lutheran school in Missouri. You can find one in Illinois. They are all over the place, and they are amazing. This is a huge, huge opportunity that is within your reach to put your child, maybe help put your grandchild into a classroom that cares about family values, that cares about safety and pushes back against bullying, that cares about providing an excellent education that is faith-based with a real-world application. And with 37 elementary schools in St. Louis, there is one near you. There are high schools as well. Consider a Lutheran education for your child or for your grandchild and learn more at lisastl.org/Annie. That's LESASTL.org/Annie.
From trees that need planting to fences that need building, you have a lot to do. But that's no excuse to skip the most important step in any digging project, locating the underground facility. Submit a free locate